However, even the confidant didn't know Lin Yi's true identity. Lin Yi wanted to keep a low profile. If he was so close to the resort's boss in a high-profile manner, it was inevitable that he would be noticed by the Kang family. This time, Lin Yi accompanied Kang Xiaobo as a bystander. His main goal was to let Xiaofan clearly see the ugly faces of Kang Mingming and the others and completely erase him from her memory. If Lin Yi exposed the fact that he was close to Uncle Tian, then Kang Mingming might change his attitude and purposely get close to him to flatter him. That way, Xiaofan wouldn't be able to see his true colors. Young Master Lin, hello. CEO Tian asked me to come over. A man in his 30s walked quickly to Lin Yi's car. He didn't look down on Lin Yi's old car at all. His eyes maintained a respectful expression without a trace of suspicion. I'm Li Yixuan. Young Master Lin can just call me Xiao Li. Uncle Tian must have told him the car number, so he immediately confirmed Lin Yi's identity. Hehe. Mr. Li can just bring us to the villa, Lin Yi said politely. Young Master Lin, please follow me. Li Yixuan nodded. Do you want me to get in the car, or do you want to take my car? Li Yixuan said and pointed to a business car parked not far away. Mr. Li, please get in the car. I can drive myself, Lin Yi said. Li Yixuan didn't say much. He got in the car and pointed the way to Lin Yi. It didn't take long for him to arrive in front of a villa by the seaside. This villa had the best view out of all the villas in the area. However, there was a "for personal use" sign at the door of the villa. It was obviously not open to the public. Young Master Lin, the villa is ready. You can move in now. Li Yixuan said and gave Lin Yi a name card. This is my contact number. If you need anything, young Master Lin can contact me directly. Okay. Thank you. Lin Yi took the name card and kept it. Li Yixuan didn't speak much. He nodded and left. This kind of person was important because of his style of doing things. He didn't talk much and didn't ask much. Young Master Lin? Boss, are you really a young master from a rich family? Didn't you say you only have a rich relative? Kang Xiaobo heard Li Yixuan call Lin Yi young Master Lin. He looked at Lin Yi excitedly. Boss, be honest. Are you the rumored rich second generation? Do I look like it? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Your brother is, Hey, Xiaofan. Kang Xiaobo wanted to tease him, but when he looked down, he saw that Xiaofan's face was covered in tears. He was so scared that his heart was about to explode. Xiaofan, don't cry. What's wrong? Lin Yi and Tang Yun heard Kang Xiaobo's voice. They turned around and saw Xiaofan's tear-stained face. However, Lin Yi and Tang Yun didn't know what to say. This was expected. Xiaofan saw Kang Mingming again. Although they didn't meet face to face, just looking at him from afar was enough to shake Xiaofan's fragile heart. At this time, only Kang Xiaobo could comfort her. Lin Yi and Tang Yun didn't know what to say. Xiaobo, carry Xiaofan into the room and comfort her? Lin Yi suggested. Okay. Kang Xiaobo nodded and ran into the villa with Xiaofan in his arms. Let's go in later. Lin Yi sighed. He stopped the car in front of the villa and turned off the engine. Chapter 367. Do you dare? I hope so. Lin Yi nodded. Every family has their own problems. Kang Xiaobo's family is very complicated, and they don't have much of a family relationship. Yeah, a rich family like that can't even compare to us poor families. Tang Yun said. They don't have that much wealth, and they don't have that many problems. Right, how's your brother's situation? Lin Yi suddenly remembered about Tang Yun's cousin. I gave him the money, and he should have returned it already. He hasn't called in the past few days, and I've been busy with Dad's surgery with Mom. Tang Yun said. But don't worry, I'll definitely return the money to you. I don't mean for you to return the money. Don't think too much about it, and tell your brother not to feel too much pressure. Lin Yi said. Yeah. Tang Yun nodded and raised her head. You really don't need me to return it. No need. Lin Yi said. Why are you so nice to me? Tang Yun was a little agitated as she looked at Lin Yi without blinking. Nice. It's not that nice, is it? Lin Yi scratched his head. He couldn't take Tang Yun's direct gaze. Phut. Tang Yun laughed out loud. It was a serious topic, but Lin Yi's words turned it into a joke. Then do you dare to be nicer to me? Tang Yun wanted to ask Lin Yi if he wanted to be with her for the rest of his life, but Lin Yi's answer made it hard for her to continue asking. It was good that she didn't ask, though. It would save both of them from the awkwardness. Who knew what would happen in the future? For the first time, Tang Yun joked with Lin Yi. Of course. Lin Yi nodded. Ha ha. Tang Yun laughed happily. Remember what you said, how will you stay at night? Lin Yi suddenly thought of the problem of staying at night. Kang Xiaobo should be accompanying Xiaofen, then he and Tang Yun. Lin Yi couldn't help but get excited. Could he share a room with Tang Yun? Of course it's me and Xiao Fen living together. How could Tang Yun not know what Lin Yi was thinking? She snorted and said, don't think about those messy things. Before marriage, it's impossible, Lin Yi sweated. Did Tang Yun see through his thoughts just like that? However, Tang Yun thought that marriage was a bit too much. At least there were many couples living together before marriage. She was afraid that Lin Yi would be disappointed, so she added, at least before you bring me to see your parents, it's impossible. I'm actually an orphan. Lin Yi sighed self-deprecatingly. Ah! Tang Yun widened her eyes and looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. You're an orphan? Yeah. Lin Yi nodded. I don't even know who my real parents are. I'm sorry. Tang Yun didn't think that Lin Yi was an orphan. Then her words were inappropriate. I didn't know you were an orphan. I didn't say anything just now. It's fine. I'm used to it. Lin Yi shook his head indifferently. But my family has an old man who raised me up and a strict master. Speaking of which, they are my elders. I'll bring you to see them when the time comes. Tang Yun saw that Lin Yi wasn't disappointed and secretly sighed in relief. At the same time, she was happy that Lin Yi planned to bring her to see his old man and master. Although she didn't know who these two people were, she knew that they weren't ordinary people. Otherwise, if Lin Yi was willing to bring her there, it meant that he approved of her. Tang Yun thought that Lin Yi was a rich young master, but she didn't think that he was an orphan. Although Tang Yun knew more about Lin Yi and knew that he didn't have the temperament of a rich young master, she just thought that it was because he had a good upbringing. She didn't know that his background was like this. However, Tang Yun put down the idea that Lin Yi's family was out of reach. She was afraid that Lin Yi's family was rich and wouldn't admit her relationship with Lin Yi. Now, it seemed that this worry was unnecessary. It made Tang Yun feel much better. Boss, come in. Xiao Fen is asleep. Tang Yun was thinking about Lin Yi's background when Kang Xiaobo ran out and shouted at the car. Tang Yun frowned slightly. She was getting along well with Lin Yi, but it was ruined by Kang Xiaobo. She got out of the car and glared at Kang Xiaobo. Aren't you afraid of waking Xiao Fen up by shouting so loudly? Kang Xiaobo didn't dare to talk back after being scolded by Tang Yun. He could only explain weakly, this villa is soundproof. Tang Yun snorted and ignored Kang Xiaobo. She walked in front of him and stepped on his foot. Then, she walked into the villa. Kang Xiaobo didn't know what happened to Tang Yun. He looked at Lin Yi helplessly. Boss, what happened to sis-in-law? Why is she so angry? How would I know? She was about to kiss me and was interrupted by you. Lin Yi shrugged. No way. Even this was interrupted by me. It seems like I'm a sinner. Kang Xiaobo looked like he deserved it. It's over. Sister-in-law's impression of me has worsened. Lin Yi was too lazy to care about him. He locked the car and entered the villa with Kang Xiaobo. Tang Yun was sitting on the sofa in the living room. Xiao Fen was lying beside her. She hadn't woken up yet. What are we eating tonight? Lin Yi glanced at Tang Yun and asked softly. Anything. Instant noodles will do. Why don't we wait for Xiao Fen to wake up? Tang Yun looked at the time on her phone. Although it was time for dinner, it wasn't appropriate for her to eat since Xiao Fen was asleep. Xiao Fen didn't wake up until 8 o'clock at night. The fear in her heart had dissipated, and her spirit had recovered a lot. Hearing that everyone was waiting for her without eating, Xiao Fen was very touched. She said embarrassedly, I'm sorry, I made everyone worry. Xiao Fen, we are actually here to accompany you. You don't have to worry about us. Tang Yun waved her hand, We are the happiest that you can walk out of the shadow. Yeah, Xiao Fen, are you hungry? Boss has been waiting for you. Kang Xiaobo also asked. I'm fine with eating anything. Xiao Fen shook her head. Let's eat whatever there is. It's already so late, there shouldn't be anything to eat, right? Chapter 368. The troublemaker is here. As for tomorrow's birthday banquet, it was an important occasion. Kang Mingming wouldn't be so rude as to make fun of Xiaofen. Although he and Kang Xiaobo were from different branches, they were still part of the Kang family in front of outsiders. If Kang Mingming were to attack Kang Xiaobo, then he would only be a laughingstock. So tomorrow was the best time to bring Xiaofen out and let her and Kang Mingming end things. After Kang Xiaobo gave the gift, they would leave quickly. There's instant noodles here. Let's eat first. Lin Yi opened the glass cabinet and took out the instant food. There were instant noodles, instant rice, ham sausages, and other instant food. These people weren't picky people. It didn't matter what they ate as long as there was food to fill their stomachs. After eating the instant noodles, everyone went to rest. Tang Yun supported Xiaofen to a room upstairs, not giving Lin Yi and Kang Xiaobo any chance. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't really care. He and Tang Yun weren't really in a relationship, and they didn't express anything. They were just getting closer to each other. They hadn't even kissed yet, so how could they live together? Kang Xiaobo, on the other hand, was slightly disappointed. How sad, I wanted to get closer to Xiaofen, but I don't have the chance anymore. There will be chances in the future. Lin Yi patted Kang Xiaobo's shoulder. Xiaofen's not in a good mood today. Even if you want to do something else, she probably won't be in the mood. Why don't you wait for Kang Mingming's matter to be resolved? Once it's over, Xiaofen will be able to open up her heart. Boss, you're right. I was too anxious. Kang Xiaobo sweated. I'll listen to you. Ha ha. Lin Yi laughed. Let's go, we're going to rest. With that, Lin Yi found a room downstairs and was about to enter when Kang Xiaobo followed. Boss, wait for me. Why are you following me? Lin Yi turned around and asked curiously. Heh, boss, I wanna sleep with you. Xiaobo said with a chuckle. Fuck. Lin Yi felt a chill. Don't you like Xiaofen? Boss, you misunderstood, I'm very normal. I just want to chat with you. Kang Xiaobo sweated. I'm a little worried about my parents' attitude towards Xiaofen. Lin Yi realized that the guy wasn't worried about his sexual orientation, he was worried about his parents' attitude. Let's chat then, it's nothing. Lin Yi sighed. That's up to you. Fen's a good girl, but she got tricked. I'm sure your parents will understand if you tell them the truth. Yeah, I think so too, but I don't have enough confidence. I've been thinking that I'll talk to them about this when I can make a name for myself with Xiao Fen and make them look at me differently. But time waits for no man. Kang Xiaobo sighed. My parents will know about my relationship with Xiaofen tomorrow. I'm afraid they'll object. Haha, it's not impossible for you to make a career. Don't worry, I'll give you a chance soon. Lin Yi was thinking about his spokesperson. It would be a good idea to push Kang Xiaobo out, especially with the fact that Kang Xiaobo was Dr. Kang's relative. Miracle Dr. Guan would be able to make a name for himself in the market. Even patients who didn't believe in Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine would think that Kang Xiaobo also had the golden creation formula after knowing about the relationship between Kang Xiaobo and Dr. Kang. Really? Kang Xiaobo's eyes lit up when he heard Lin Yi's words. He shouted excitedly, Boss, you're too good to me. Go to sleep. We need to be energetic to deal with Kang Mingming tomorrow, Lin Yi reminded him. Yes, I'll go to sleep now. Kang Xiaobo nodded and left, finding a room to sleep in. Lin Yi, Kang Xiaobo, Tang Yun, and Xiaofen left the villa at 9 a.m. the next day. They still had instant noodles for breakfast. Although Li Yishuan wanted to send some food to Lin Yi, the boss didn't tell him and Lin Yi didn't call, so Li Yishuan didn't want to disturb Lin Yi. The tit-for-tat at the entrance of the resort yesterday made Zhao feel like he had lost a lot of face. He was the direct descendant of Miracle Dr. Kang, and yet he couldn't deal with a side relative. This made him very angry. At night, he found a familiar waiter and asked him to find out which room Kang Xiaobo and the others were staying in. He wanted to bring his men to humiliate them, but he couldn't find out anything. He could only let them go. It was impossible for them not to show up today. It was his grandfather's birthday banquet. Kang Xiaobo and the others would definitely come. Kang Mingming brought his men to wait at the entrance of the banquet hall. When Kang Xiaobo and the others came, he would humiliate them. Do you remember what second young master Kang said? One of Kang Mingming's men, Zhu Xiaozhong, gave a few bills to the security guards at the entrance and asked them arrogantly. I remember. Don't worry, Zhu bro. A security captain took the bills and said respectfully. Don't call me Zhu bro. Zhu Xiaozhong glared at him. Zhu bro and Pig bro had the same pronunciation, which made him a little unhappy. Call me Xiaozhong bro, understand? Xiaozhong bro and arrogant bro had the same pronunciation, so Zhu Xiaozhong preferred people to call him arrogant bro. He was Kang Mingming's number one lackey. With Kang Mingming's name, he was indeed very arrogant. No one dared to mess with him. Yes, arrogant bro. The security captain quickly said. They're here. Another of Kang Mingming's men, Wang Shubing, had sharp eyes. He saw Lin Yi's broken van driving towards them. He had already memorized the license plate number. Last night, he went back and forth to look for the van, but he couldn't find it. The security captain and the guards who were in charge of guarding the door nodded. The two understood and rushed towards the van, ready to make trouble. Lin Yi was in the van. He saw Kang Mingming and his men talking to each other. They must be planning something. He curled his lips. Xiaobo, Kang Mingming is standing at the door. He will definitely cause trouble later. Be careful. Chapter 369. Why did she come? Chapter 369. Why did she come? Xiao Fen already knew that Kang Mingming didn't like her at all and was just playing with her. Kang Mingming would never change his mind. Although Kang Mingming's family moved from Songshan to Donghai, the two cities weren't far apart. He would have come back to see Xiao Fen a long time ago if he wanted to. Why would he ignore her? The reason why Xiao Fen was so determined to face Kang Jiaoming again was because she wanted to let her subconscious know that Kang Jiaoming was a bad guy. He wasn't her lover at all. Lin Yi parked the car and got out, followed by Kang Xiaobo, Tang Yun, and Xiao Fen. You guys, what are you here for? Security pointed at Lin Yi and asked. We're here for the birthday banquet. Kang Xiaobo suppressed his anger and looked at the three security guards. He knew that they were sent by Kang Mingming after Lin Yi's reminder. Xiao Fen grabbed onto Kang Xiaobo's hand tightly, not daring to let go. She didn't even dare to look at Kang Mingming. Birthday banquet? Where's the invitation? Take it out. Security extended his hand and asked. I'm here for my second grandpa's birthday banquet. Why would I need an invitation? Kang Xiaobo frowned. Your second grandpa? Who's your second grandpa? I think you're all liars, aren't you? The security captain spoke up with a slanted glance. My second grandpa is Dr. Kang. Kang Xiaobo was getting impatient. Don't be instigated by others. Instigate? What are you talking about? The security captain was angered. Look at you guys, dressed like this, wearing rags that only cost tens of kwai. Who would believe that Dr. Kang is your second grandpa? And you're here for the birthday banquet? I think you're all liars, right? Are you here to scam food and drink? Who are you calling a liar? Kang Xiaobo was anxious. Lin Yi tugged at Kang Xiaobo, motioning him to calm down. He glanced at the security captain and said lightly, What's your name? What the fuck do you care about my name? I'm telling you, you liars should leave as soon as possible, or I'll call the police. The security captain sneered and did not answer Lin Yi's words. Looks like I have to give brother Li Yishuan a call. Why are the security guards under him so high class? Kick the guests out. Lin Yi shook his head in disdain and reached into his pocket. Where did I put the business card? Oh, here it is. Seeing that Lin Yi mentioned Li Yishuan's name and really took out Li Yishuan's name card to make a call, the security captain was immediately dumbfounded. Of course, he knew what kind of person Li Yishuan was. He was the confidant of the big boss, President Tian. In this resort, when President Tian was not around, he was President Tian's spokesperson. Not to mention that he was just a small security captain. Even the security captain or the security manager was nothing in front of Li Yixuan. Previously, when he helped Kang Mingming to cause trouble for Lin Yi, the security captain was only doing it for the sake of money. But on Lin Yi's side, it was not as simple as money. If he offended Kang Mingming, at most, he would lose his money. If he offended Lin Yi, he would lose his job. Big brother. Don't call. I have eyes but failed to recognize you. Please don't lower yourself to my level. The security captain was about to cry. It turned out that the person who drove the broken van was the real god. He knew Li Yixuan. Even if their relationship was not that good, and they were just friends, Li Yixuan would definitely not offend Lin Yi for a small security captain like him. In Li Yixuan's eyes, he was just an insignificant person. If he was fired, there would be too many people who would want to replace him. On the other side, on Kang Mingming's side, they did not notice the conversation between Lin Yi and the security captain. The person they were paying attention to was Xiao Fen, who was beside Kang Xiaobo. Second young master Kang, look at the woman beside your idiot brother. Why does she look like the woman you used to play with? Zhu Xiaozhong pointed at Xiao Fen and said in surprise. Hey! You don't say, but it really looks like that little slut Lan Fen. Kang Mingming also widened his eyes in disbelief. Wasn't she killed by a car? Why is she still alive? I don't know. I gave the driver 500,000 yuan to kill her. Why didn't she die? Zhu Xiaozhong also thought it was strange. I spent 500,000 yuan for nothing. Xiaozhong, don't mention this anymore. Kang Mingming glared at him. How could he casually talk about hiring someone to kill someone? Fortunately, the three of them had done bad things together, so no one could criticize each other. Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing were involved in Xiao Fen's incident. Hihi, it's just the three of us. Zhu Xiaozhong also felt that he had said something wrong. This matter really couldn't be casually talked about. If it was spread out, he would go to jail. But thinking about it, Xiao Fen's family didn't have much power and was extremely poor. Even if they heard this rumor, they couldn't do anything to them. Why is Xiao Fen here? Doesn't she know that I am Kang Xiaobo's brother? Kang Mingming was curious about Xiao Fen's purpose of coming here. Logically speaking, if Xiao Fen knew that he was Kang Xiaobo's cousin, she wouldn't come here to embarrass herself. He didn't think that Xiao Fen was here to cause trouble. Since she dared to come here to cause trouble, it was impossible for her to get any benefits. He wouldn't give it to her. She shouldn't be stupid. She wouldn't come here to embarrass herself, right? I was worried that I couldn't find a reason to humiliate them. Let's go and humiliate them. Zhu Xiaozhong smiled and suggested. Let's go and see what this bitch wants to do. Kang Mingming also wanted to see what Xiao Fen was here for. You guys move aside first. Zhu Xiaozhong waved his hand at the security team leader, indicating that there was nothing for them to do. Zhu Xiaozhong's attention was on Xiao Fen. He didn't see what happened between Lin Yi and the security team leader. He thought that they were humiliated badly. Yes. The security team leader was thinking about how to leave, but Zhu Xiaozhong came and gave him a chance to leave. If he didn't leave now, when would he leave? The security team leader quickly left with his subordinates. This kind of family's internal conflict wasn't something an outsider could participate in. Although it seemed that Kang Xiaobo's side was at a disadvantage, they actually knew Li Yixuan. The security team leader regretted it. If he knew this would happen, he wouldn't have gotten involved for a few hundred yuan. Chapter 370. A slap. Whether it was Kang Mingming, Zhu Xiaozhong, or Wang Shubin, they all thought that Xiao Fen came here by accident, and she didn't know that Kang Mingming would show up here. The most amazing thing was that Xiao Fen's boyfriend seemed to be Kang Xiaobo. Xiao Fen was shaking with anger after hearing Zhu Xiaozhong's words. She held onto Kang Xiaobo's hand tightly, her eyes filled with stubborn anger. Xiao Fen knew Zhu Xiaozhong. He was one of Kang Mingming's followers. Back then, when she and Kang Mingming were together, he followed behind her and called her sister-in-law, sweet and sweet. But now, he was calling her a bitch. I don't know you, who are you? Xiao Fen understood Kang Mingming's feelings after hearing Zhu Xiaozhong's words. She finally gave up on Kang Mingming. If Kang Mingming had a shred of consideration for their relationship, he wouldn't have let Zhu Xiaozhong say those words. And after Zhu Xiaozhong said those words, Kang Mingming acted as if it was only natural. This meant that Kang Mingming never loved her, he was just toying with her feelings. Xiao Fen was heartbroken, but she understood that he wasn't her lover, he was a demon. Xiao Fen believed all the rumors she heard before. It was said that Kang Mingming changed girlfriends as fast as he changed clothes. She didn't believe it at first, but looking at his face right now, she had to believe it. Hey, do you think that you can't admit what happened in the past just because you climbed up a high branch? Zhu Xiaozhong looked at Kang Xiaobo with a grin. Kid, did she trick you? Don't you know she's a second-hand trash? Our second young master Kang played with her until she was ruined, and you picked her up and treated her like a treasure? Yeah, Xiaobo, this woman was left behind after I played with her, how could you pick her up? If my uncle found out, wouldn't it be too embarrassing? Kang Mingming walked over with a kind look and said to Kang Xiaobo, don't be fascinated by this woman just because she looks pure. Kang Mingming, you're shameless. Xiao Fen was shaking with anger as she pointed at Kang Mingming. Xiao Fen never thought that Kang Mingming would be so shameless. Not only did he dump her, he even slandered her. I'm shameless? I don't think so. Kang Mingming shrugged. Some people like to be played by others. Who is to blame? I'm just reminding my brother not to be tricked by some bitch. Enough. Seeing that Xiao Fen was about to cry, Kang Xiaobo suddenly roared, Kang Mingming, you'll die a horrible death. How can you say that about Xiao Fen? You're her first love. She loved you deeply and gave everything to you. How can you say that about her? Do you still have a conscience? Heh. You don't even call me cousin because of a bitch. You even called me by my name. Kang Mingming sneered, her first love. So what? Who asked her to be a fool? I'm tired of playing with her, so naturally, I don't want her anymore. Am I supposed to raise her all the time? Although my family is rich, the number of women that I dumped is at least 80. If I bring all of them home to raise, I'll be poor. Hearing Kang Mingming's shameless words, Xiao Fen finally couldn't hold back her tears. He was too shameless, destroying the last bit of hope in Xiao Fen's heart. Even if he calmly said that he didn't like her anymore, so they broke up, Xiao Fen could still accept it. But Kang Mingming said that she was a fool. He said that she gave everything for him was a fool. Xiao Fen cried, she cried sadly. How can you say that? I already knew that you're not a good person. I should have forcefully broken you guys up. Tang Yun was infuriated as well. She pointed at Kang Jiaoming, the heartless bastard, and couldn't help but curse. You are too wicked. Hey, I was wondering who it was. Isn't this Tang Yun? I haven't seen you for a few years. You've gotten prettier. Why, is this your boyfriend? He's just SOSO. Kang Mingming glanced at Lin Yi with a hint of jealousy. Back then, he failed to pursue Tang Yun, so he changed to pursue Xiao Fen. He was still brooding over the fact that he didn't get Tang Yun. Driving this broken car is really degrading. Tang Yun, I didn't expect your taste to be so bad. That's right. Follow our second young master Kang. I'll buy you a 200,000 yuan car tomorrow. Zhu Xiaozhong jumped out and promised to Tang Yun, you won't have a future if you follow this idiot. Lin Yi didn't want to get involved in Kang Xiaobo's family business. No matter what, it was his family business. Letting him settle it himself was the best solution. Lin Yi was only a bystander. He only needed to watch Xiao Fen's illness. But he did not expect that this Zhu Xiaozhong diverted the trouble to someone else and bullied his head. If Lin Yi could endure being called an idiot, he wouldn't be Lin Yi. Pa. A crisp slap flew over, causing Zhu Xiaozhong to stumble on the ground. Zhu Xiaozhong cried out in pain. He spun 3 times on the ground and spat out 2 bloody teeth. His cheeks instantly swelled up like a steamed bun. Security, security, arrest them. Xiaozhong was stunned by the slap, and when he came back to his senses, he started yelling incoherently. How dare Lin Yi hit him? The security captain was hiding far away, watching the confrontation between the 2 groups of House Kang. He wanted to watch the show, But he didn't think that Zhu Xiaozhong would get slapped by Lin Yi. That wasn't a big deal, but the problem was that Zhu Xiaozhong called for security after getting slapped. The security captain was in a difficult position. He regretted not running far away. Now he was in a dilemma. If he went, he would definitely offend Lin Yi. He didn't know what kind of relationship this guy had with Li Yixuan. Offending him wouldn't end well, but they couldn't ignore Zhu Xiaozhong's call. They had just received a few hundred kuai in tips from Zhu Xiaozhong. It wouldn't be right to turn their backs on him so quickly. Moreover, Zhu Xiaozhong was staring at them. As the security guards of the resort, they had to show up. Just as the security captain was in a dilemma, another group of security guards ran over. One of them was a fat security captain. When he heard Zhu Xiaozhong's call for help, he rushed over. "Brother Xiaozhong, what's wrong?" This fat security captain was called Zhong Dingwei. He was the captain in charge of the banquet hall's security. He had received a 2,000 kuai red packet from the Kang family, so he did his best for the Kang family. Chapter 371. Another slap that kid, he hit me. Take him to the security room and teach him a lesson. Zhu Xiaozhong held his cheek as he mumbled. "He's here to cause trouble." Zhu Xiaozhong was furious, but no one had dared to hit him since he'd been a lackey for Kang Mingming for so many years. As the saying goes, you need to look at the owner before you hit a dog. Naturally, people had to give face to Kang Mingming, but he wasn't an idiot. He only told the security to take Lin Yi away, not Kang Xiaobo. No matter what, Kang Xiaobo was still a member of House Kang. Humiliating him was fine, but beating him up would be a big deal. It'd be hard to explain it to Dr. Kang if he asked. Everyone knew that Dr. Kang cared about his face the most. Putting aside how he treated Kang Xiaobo's family in private, he still had to act respectfully on the surface. Otherwise, he wouldn't have invited Kang Xiaobo's family to his birthday party. The captain of the security team, Zhong Dingwei, looked at Lin Yi as he made up his mind. The kid's clothes were all cheap, and he didn't look like he had any background or status. "Kid, how dare you cause trouble in Moon on the Sea Resort? You've got guts. Come with us." Lin Yi. Tang Yin was a little nervous. She pulled on Lin Yi's arm, not wanting him to leave. Although Lin Yi had beaten up the Big Four in school, that was still a school. They were in society now, and these security guards clearly didn't have good intentions. Would Lin Yi be able to come back if he went with them? Lin Yi squeezed Tang Yin's hand and whispered into her ear. "It'll be fine. Don't forget that I know their boss." Tang Yun's ears went soft from Lin Yi's whispers. She blushed and looked at him. Even at a time like this, he still didn't forget to play tricks on her. Lin Yi was right. He knew the boss here. What was there to be afraid of? Zhong Dingwei saw that Lin Yi was ignoring him and whispering to the girl beside him. His face darkened. This was provocation and contempt. "You think you're awesome? I'm talking to you, didn't you hear me?" Zhong Dingwei reached out to pull Lin Yi's collar, but Lin Yi pushed him aside. "Where did the dog come from? Are you retarded? Which eye of yours saw me hit him?" "I'd say he hit himself." Lin Yi laughed coldly. His eyes suddenly turned to where the security captain was hiding. "Don't you think so?" The captain didn't get along with Zhong Dingwei. He wanted to see Zhong Dingwei make a fool of himself. He didn't think that Lin Yi would ask him to come out and testify. Cold sweat formed on the captain's forehead. He didn't dare offend Lin Yi, but he just accepted Zhu Xiaozhang's money. He'd be offending both sides if he kept his mouth shut, and wouldn't be getting any favors from either side. The captain made up his mind. He already had a grudge against Zhong Dingwei. So what if he helped Lin Yi testify? Hence, he rushed out and pointed at Zhu Xiaozhong. "I saw it. He hit himself." "Zhong Dingwei, you're the captain of the banquet hall. I'm in charge of the security outside. Why are you sticking your nose in?" "Ah!" Zhong Dingwei blinked. "Zhu Xiaozhong hit himself? Is this for real?" However, when he saw Zhu Xiaozhong's vicious eyes, he understood. Zhu Xiaozhong definitely didn't hit himself. Who would be so stupid as to hit themselves for fun? "Old Sway, this has nothing to do with you. Do you want to testify?" Do you know who Mr. Zhu Xiaozhong is? His second young master Kang's. Before Zhong Dingwei finished, he was interrupted by Lin Yi. It's just a dog. Lin Yi curled his lips. Ha 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 ha. Kang Xiaobo laughed. In this situation, Lin Yi still dared to make such a joke. This made Kang Xiaobo feel very refreshed. All this time, Kang Jiaoming had always been the one suppressing him, but now, the people on his side were being trampled by Lin Yi. The most amazing thing was that someone came to testify. Zhu Xiaozhang's face turned the color of pig liver. Kang Mingming's face didn't look too good either. He didn't know where this Lin Yi came from. How could he make old Sui, the captain of the security team, betray him? Kid, who the fuck are you? Do you believe that I won't let you leave Moon on the sea? Zhu Xiaozhong was going crazy. When had he ever been humiliated like this? He came here to humiliate Kang Xiaobo and Lan Fen. He didn't expect to be humiliated by someone else. If he didn't get his revenge, he wouldn't be able to raise his head in the upper class of Dong Hai. Slap. It was another loud slap. But this time, no one saw Lin Yi make a move. This time, Zhu Xiaozhang's swollen face was on the right side. According to the palm print, he was hit with his left hand. But now, Lin Yi's left hand was holding Tang Yun's hand. You dare hit me? Captain Zhong, did you see this? He was the one who hit me. Hurry up and bring him back. We have a witness here. Let's see if he still won't admit it. Zhu Xiaozhong bared his fangs and brandished his claws as he yelled, all of you, keep an eye on him. I'll teach him a lesson after the banquet ends. But this time, Kang Mingming and Wang Shubin didn't speak up for Zhu Xiaozhong. Zhong Dingwei, on the other hand, was stunned. The first slap was indeed from Lin Yi, but who was the one who did the second slap? Lin Yi's left hand was holding Tang Yun's hand. This was a fact that everyone saw. Plus, no one saw him make a move. What's wrong with you guys? Zhu Xiaozhong waited for a while, but Zhong Dingwei didn't move. Kang Mingming and Wang Shubin didn't say anything either. He felt that something was wrong. You really are a lackey. You only have the IQ of a dog. Lin Yi looked at Zhu Xiaozhong with sympathy. You're starting to get delusional. There are so many people here, and no one saw me hit you. But you're saying that I hit you. You're hopeless. I suggest you buy some retarded pills. Maybe it will increase your IQ. Ha 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 ha. Xiaobo started laughing heartily. He'd never felt so proud of himself before, and seeing Zhu Xiaozhong and the others get humiliated was incredibly satisfying. Even Fen, who'd been crying a while ago, had a smile on her face. She, too, felt like she'd vented her anger. Chapter 372. Suffering in silence. Tang Yun had thought that it was just her imagination, but it seemed like that wasn't the case. Lin Yi had made his move, but it was too fast and too ingenious. No one saw how he did it. Tang Yun was pleasantly surprised. She blamed Lin Yi for being so evil, making Zhu Xiaozhong suffer in silence. It's your doing, right? Xiaozhong didn't believe that Lin Yi wasn't the one who hit him. His face was swollen. Captain Zhong, pull out the recording and see if it's him. Xiaozhong wasn't that stupid. He was furious, but he still thought of using the recording as evidence. I'm sorry, but I'm the one in charge of the security at the entrance. I refuse your request. Old Sui was already standing firmly on Lin Yi's side, so he had to go all the way. There's so many people here, and none of them saw this Mr. hit someone. Your request is unreasonable. Are you saying that we're all blind? Xiaozhong, of course, wasn't calling him blind. Even if he did, he wouldn't say it out loud. He was only suspecting that Lin Yi had used some sort of distraction tactic to achieve his goal. Old Sui, you're here to protect these troublemakers, aren't you? Dingwei couldn't find any evidence, but he couldn't just ignore what was happening in front of him. He had to start from another angle. I'm just telling the truth. I really didn't see anything, and neither did you. Old Sui said faintly. All right, Old Sui. Don't you know that Mr. Zhu and Master Kang are our honored guests? Li Bro specifically told us to ensure their safety. Now that Xiaozhong Bro is in trouble in your turf, I'd like to see how Li Bro is going to handle this. Ding Wei pulled out his walkie-talkie and pressed a few numbers and a call button. He and Old Sway were of the same rank, both security captains. They didn't have any direct superiors or subordinates, so Old Sway could only use his superiors to pressure him. Whatever. When Old Sway heard that Zhong Dingwei was looking for Yishuan, he was overjoyed. He was afraid that Old Sway would not look for him. Now that Yishuan was here, and he knew Lin Yi, things would be easier. Dingwei Zhong thought that Laro Sway was being stubborn. He sneered and said to the walkie-talkie, "Brother Li, there are some problems at the entrance of the banquet hall. Someone is beating up our VIP, and Captain Sway is covering for him." "Okay, I will wait for you." After Zhong Dingwei finished, he looked at Old Sway proudly and thought to himself, "Let's see how you die." When Li Yishuan heard that someone was beating up a VIP, he didn't dare to delay and immediately rushed over on his electric scooter. However, when he got off the scooter, he saw Lin Yi. Li Yishuan hesitated for a moment before deciding to greet Lin Yi first. Lin Yi was someone that President Tian had specially briefed several times. Li Yishuan naturally knew that if he wasn't an important person or had a close relationship with President Tian would not have briefed him so many times. "Mr. Lin, you're here too." Li Yishuan walked over quickly and politely extended his hand to Lin Yi. Lin Yi extended his hand and shook Li Yishuan's hand casually. "I'm accompanying a buddy to his second grandfather's birthday banquet." Li Yishuan nodded and said politely, "Mr. Lin, please go ahead. If you have any instructions, just give me a call." Li Yishuan thought that Lin Yi was just passing by and wanted to enter the banquet hall, so he didn't pay much attention. However, Li Yishuan's words shocked everyone present, including the security captain, Dingwei Zhong. He finally understood why Old Sway lied through his teeth and stood firmly on Lin Yi's side. He knew that Lin Yi was Li Yishuan's real VIP. From Li Yishuan's words, his attitude towards Lin Yi could be seen. Dingwei Zhong looked at Old Sway's bright smile and wanted to punch him. He had been tricked by Old Sway. It wasn't worth it for him to stand out like this. He had pleased Zhu Xiaozhong, but he had offended Li Yishuan. "Little Zhong, what's going on? Who beat up a VIP?" Li Yishuan asked Dingwei Zhong after he and Lin Yi exchanged greetings. "Hehe, Brother Li, it's like this. This Zhu Xiaozhong guy said that I beat him, but I didn't. Everyone saw it clearly. But this Captain Zhong also said that I beat Zhu Xiaozhong." Lin Yi said plainly. "Oh." Li Yishuan was stunned. He didn't expect this to be related to Lin Yi. "I can testify that Mr. Lin didn't beat Zhu Xiaozhong. Everyone here saw it. Brother Li, you can ask the crowd," Old Sway said confidently. Lin Yi did slap Zhu Xiaozhong, but there was no one at the banquet hall. Dingwei wasn't there either. As long as Lin Yi didn't admit it, no one would testify for him. But the second slap was not only witnessed by Dingwei Zhong, but also by the crowd. No matter who was asked, they could all testify that Lin Yi didn't beat Zhu Xiaozhong. "Little Zhong, what's going on?" Brother Li's face darkened. Although he felt that there was a problem, Old Sway's words were most likely credible. Seeing that the crowd didn't refute him, he was even more convinced that Dingwei Zhong was lying. This. Maybe I saw it wrong. How could Dingwei not understand the situation? If he still dared to help Zhu Xiaozhong, he would be offending Li Yishuan. "Dingwei Zhong, I fucking gave you 2,000 yuan, and you're saying you saw it wrong?" Zhu Xiaozhong exploded. He was hit, but no one believed him. His face was swollen like a bun, but no one believed him. Was there anything more painful than this in the world? Was there? Oh. The crowd of onlookers burst into laughter. Zhu Xiaozhong didn't shout about the inside story. Although they didn't see how Lin Yi hit Zhu Xiaozhong's face was indeed swollen. Some people still suspected that Lin Yi did something to it. But now that Zhu Xiaozhong was yelling like this, there was no doubt that Zhu Xiaozhong was the one who bribed Zhong Dingwei, and that he was beating himself up. Li Yishuan's gloomy gaze stopped on Dingwei Zhong's face. "Go back to the security office and write a self-reflection. If you can't do it, then get out." How could Dingwei dare to say no? He ran away with his tail between his legs, leaving the furious Zhu Xiaozhong behind. Chapter 373. The first round. Kang Mingming knew that he'd be humiliated if he kept this up. There were a lot of onlookers already, and they could prove that Lin Yi didn't hit Zhu Xiaozhong. It was hard to say how Zhu Xiaozhong's face got swollen. Kang Mingming suspected that Lin Yi was behind this, but he couldn't do anything without evidence. If Lin Yi didn't know Li Yixuan, it'd be easier. He could just find an excuse and let the security take him away. But Lin Yi knew Li Yixuan, and from the looks of it, they were close. Lin Yi, right? I'll remember you. Kang Mingming glared at Lin Yi, then at Kang Xiaobo and Lan Fen. You're standing up for them, aren't you? I hope you don't regret this. Some people have done things they shouldn't. I wonder if they regret it now? Lin Yi smiled, not taking Kang Mingming's threat to heart. Let's go. Kang Jiaoming waved his hand and left with Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubin. They walked towards the banquet hall unwillingly. Kang Xiaobo really wanted to wave his hands and shout "Long live the king" 3 times. He thought that today's meeting with Kang Mingming would be difficult, full of humiliation and helplessness. Kang Xiaobo was prepared to endure everything. After all, this was Kang Mingming's turf, and he wasn't Kang Mingming's opponent. He knew that the weak couldn't win against the strong. But he didn't expect that in the first round of battle with Kang Mingming, his side would gain the upper hand. Kang Mingming had to suffer in silence, and he left with his tail between his legs. Xiao Fen, did you see boss's power? With him around, we won't suffer any losses. Kang Xiaobo firmly said as he held onto Xiao Fen's hand. Xiao Fen had completely given up on Kang Mingming. When she saw Kang Mingming's ugly face, Xiao Fen felt a sense of relief. She felt that it wasn't worth it for her to be so haggard all these years. She felt that her actions of jumping off the building were laughable. How could she have fallen in love with such a cruel and unscrupulous person? At this moment, Xiao Fen had walked out of the shadow in her heart. She could face her life bravely in the future, because Kang Mingming wasn't worth her sacrifice. She could only pretend that she was blind. Seeing the smile on Xiao Fen's face, Kang Xiaobo let out a breath of relief. Tang Yun was also happy for her. Xiao Fen, have you thought it through? Yes, I've thought it through. I was too stupid in the past. Xiao Fen shook her head in self-mockery. This kind of person. How can I like this kind of person? I should cherish what I have now. As she spoke, Xiao Fen held onto Kang Xiaobo's hand even tighter. Kang Xiaobo was instantly excited. In the past, although he and Xiao Fen had feelings for each other, and they both acknowledged their relationship, Kang Xiaobo knew that there was always a shadow in Xiao Fen's heart, and that was Kang Mingming. If he didn't get over this, he would always be Kang Mingming's substitute. This made Kang Xiaobo very uncomfortable, and it was also the reason why he insisted on bringing Xiao Fen to see Kang Mingming. But at this moment, Kang Xiaobo knew that Xiao Fen had already confessed to him and expressed her feelings. How could Kang Xiaobo not be excited? Young Master Lin, if there's nothing else, I'll be leaving first. Call me if there's anything. Li Yixuan saw that there was nothing else for him to do, so he nodded to Lin Yi and said politely. Lin Yi nodded, sorry to trouble you, Brother Li. Li Yixuan gestured that it was nothing and left on the electric scooter. Lin Yi, Tang Yun, Kang Xiaobo, and Xiao Fen walked into the banquet hall, and the crowd followed them. Among these people, there were people who knew Kang Xiaobo and Kang Ming and knew that they were cousins. They only treated the conflict between the younger generation of the Kang family as a joke. Dr. Kang's birthday banquet was a Western-style buffet. Kang Xiaobo brought Lin Yi to a corner of the banquet hall. Actually, the purpose of this time was achieved. Xiao Fen saw Kang Mingming's true colors, and let her walk out of the shadow in her heart, allowing her to have a new life. After entering the banquet hall, Xiao Fen's mood was a little down. She must have been affected by the previous incident. Although she was completely disappointed in Kang Mingming, anyone who encountered such an incident would feel bad. Especially after being stupid for so many years, persevering for so many years, and in the end, it was all for naught. Anyone would feel uncomfortable. Tang Yun persuaded Xiao Fen softly, but this kind of thing didn't need anyone to persuade her. She would be fine after a few days. Boss, since we're here, it's not good for us to leave immediately. But after the younger generation celebrates the birthday, we can leave directly. I don't want to stay here for another minute. Kang Xiaobo was extremely disgusted with Kang Mingming's face. Is that person your father? Lin Yi didn't answer Kang Xiaobo's question. Instead, he pointed at a middle-aged man not far away. Beside him was Kang Mingming, who was gesticulating and saying something. It's my dad, but what is Kang Mingming doing? Kang Xiaobo was stunned. He didn't understand why Kang Mingming went to look for his father. Could it be that he went to complain? Kang Mingming couldn't be such a coward, right? After being humiliated at the entrance, he went to complain to the adults. I'm guessing that it's about Xiao Fen. Lin Yi frowned. I didn't expect Kang Mingming to be so mean. He actually went to your dad and said bad things about Xiao Fen. Fuck his 18 generations of ancestors. Kang Xiaobo was furious. If what Lin Yi said was true, then wasn't Kang Mingming a little too despicable? His 18 generations of ancestors. Isn't it your 18 generations of ancestors? Lin Yi smiled. Actually, it's nothing. You should think about it. You will have to tell your parents about this matter sooner or later. After he said this, you can tell your parents about Xiao Fen's experience. I think they aren't unreasonable people. Lin Yi saw that Kang Xiaobo's father was a good person. Although he wanted to save some face, he wasn't a cold-hearted bad person. As long as he was reasonable and moved by his emotions, it wouldn't be difficult for him to accept Xiao Fen. Really? Kang Xiaobo heard Lin Yi's words and was overjoyed. Bro, you aren't lying to me, right? Why would I lie to you? Lin Yi shook his head. If it doesn't work, I can help you. Lin Yi's understanding of people's hearts was very accurate. He could help Kang Xiaobo. Chapter 374. Too bad it's fake. As expected, Kang Xiaobo's father frowned as he looked at Kang Xiaobo's side. He couldn't help but frown when he saw the 2 boys and 2 girls. He didn't think too much about it before. It was normal for his son to bring his classmates to the banquet, but 2 boys and 2 girls? That was a little too obvious. Kang Fu also suspected that there were 2 couples after hearing Kang Mingming's words. Did his son learn bad things? But Mr. Kang couldn't ask Xiaobo about it in front of everyone, and he knew that his nephew wasn't doing this out of goodwill. He'd tried so hard to stop Xiaobo and his classmate from staying at the hotel, after all, and there had to be some sort of grudge between them. It seemed that the grudge was with the girl beside his son. As for the girl shamelessly seducing this and that, Kang Fu was skeptical. Dr. Kang's birthday banquet officially started at 10 in the morning, and Lin Yi saw a few familiar faces. There was Liu Tianyi and Guan Shuamin, both of them sitting at a table and chatting. Dr. Kang's eldest son, the current head of Dr. Kang's group, Kang Gui Feng, was also sitting at their table, chatting with the 2 of them. Lin Yi didn't go over to greet them. He hid in the corner, waiting for the banquet to start. Kang Xiaobo gave his gift and left. It seemed that after he created the miracle Dr. Guan brand, it was inevitable that he would become Dr. Kang's competitor. He didn't have to worry about anything anymore. Judging from Kang Xiaobo's current situation, there was no way he could get back together with Kang Mingming's family. At least not with Xiaofen around. Amidst the impassioned speech of the MC and the applause of the guests, Dr. Kang slowly walked out. This was an old man with a rather dignified appearance. He was dressed in a red Han costume and had the temperament of an ancient Chinese medicine practitioner. Although it was a little speechless to become a leading enterprise in the domestic pharmaceutical industry because of a magical prescription, it was undeniable that Dr. Kang's golden creation did have a magical effect. Of course, many old people in the medical field didn't care much about Dr. Kang, because in their opinion, Dr. Kang couldn't be called a miracle doctor at all. They didn't know where he got a good prescription from, which made him the Dr. Kang of today. Looking at the other medicines produced by his company, they were nothing more than common medicines for common colds, headaches, and fever. The formulas were all open to the public, and there was nothing special about them. If it weren't for his golden creation medicine's reputation, he might not even be able to sell his home medicine. But he was lucky. With the red medicine, no matter what he produced later on, even if it was a normal medicine, it would still sell well. That was why he was able to create such a colossus like Dr. Kang's medical group in a short period of time. In fact, many people knew that Dr. Kang's medical skills weren't great. Thank you, guests, for coming to Dr. Kang's 62nd birthday. Next, we will send our blessings from Dr. Kang's descendant. The MC started the first procedure of the birthday banquet, which was to let the descendants present their gifts. After the descendants had presented their gifts, it would be the turn of the famous people in the society and Dr. Kang's friends. As for the others, they wouldn't have the chance to present their gifts on stage and could only place their gifts at the registration counter at the entrance. The first to go on stage was Dr. Kang's eldest son, Kang Gui-feng. He walked up the stage with his head held high, holding a red brocade box in his hand. The packaging was exquisite. "Dad, I'm giving you 100-year Tianshan snow lotus." His eldest son, Kang Gui-feng, presented the brocade box with both hands and said respectfully, "I wish Dad a long and healthy life." "Good, very good. Bring it over and let me have a look." Dr. Kang ordered the MC. The MC quickly presented the brocade box to Dr. Kang. He opened it, and there was indeed a 100-year Tianshan snow lotus in it. Looking at its size, even if it wasn't a 100-year Tianshan snow lotus, it was at least 70 or 80 years old. Wow! Everyone was excited. As expected of a family of miracle doctors, even their birthday gifts were rare treasures. After the eldest son, Kang Gui-feng, left the stage, it was his youngest son, Kang Tsuepu, who presented his gift. He was holding a similar brocade box in his hand. It was incomparably beautiful. "Dad, I'm giving you 1,000-year ginseng. It has already begun to take human form. This is a wild ginseng that I've sent people to search the mountains for 3 years and 3 months. Kang Tsuepu presented the brocade box with both hands and said respectfully, "I wish Dad a long and happy life." "Good, good, good." Dr. Kang said good 3 times in a row. He gestured to the MC and said, "Let me have a look. I want to see what 1,000-year ginseng looks like." His eldest son, Kang Gui-feng, presented a 100-year Tianshan snow lotus. It was already rare, but this 1,000-year ginseng was even rarer. How could Dr. Kang not be excited? The MC quickly presented the brocade box to Dr. Kang. Dr. Kang opened the brocade box, and there was indeed a huge ginseng inside. It had already grown into human form. Although he didn't know if it was 1,000-year ginseng, it was indeed a rare treasure. All the guests gasped as they looked at the ginseng in Miracle Dr. Kang's hands enviously, congratulating him non-stop. "Your uncle really knows how to curry favor. He gave me a ginseng, but it's fake. It seems like he's the same as that Kang Ming, a master of swindling people." Lin Yi's voice wasn't loud. He was only talking to Kang Xiaobo, Tang Yun, and Xiaofen. However, the guests nearby heard it. "Fake? Is it real?" The guests nearby heard Lin Yi's words and were in an uproar. They couldn't help but look at Lin Yi. If these people didn't pay attention, things would have been fine. But the noise was heard by Kang Tsuepu, and he looked at Lin Yi's direction with a cold, unfriendly gaze. However, Kang Tsuepu didn't say anything. He signaled his son, Kang Ming. Kang Ming immediately jumped out and pointed at Lin Yi. "Where did this guy come from? What fake? How can this ginseng be fake?" Seeing Kang Ming jump out in such a hurry, Lin Yi smiled faintly. Since it's artificially cultivated, it's naturally fake. Not to mention 1,000-year ginseng, it's not even 10 years old. Lin Yi didn't want to interfere with Kang Xiaobo's family matters. However, this Kang Ming was too despicable. Lin Yi didn't mind mocking him a bit. He wanted to embarrass him and his father. "Guards, throw him out for me. How dare he cause trouble at Grandpa's birthday banquet?" Kang Ming roared angrily. The security guards in the banquet hall knew about the relationship between Lin Yi and Li Yixuan. Although they heard Kang Ming's order, they didn't dare to make a move. Chapter 375. How embarrassing. Although he didn't know much about ginseng, he didn't really trust his youngest son. His youngest son never did proper work, never went to the company, and used the dividends from the shares to eat, drink, and gamble. His grandson was just like him. What kind of 1,000-year-old ginseng could he dig up? Even Dr. Kang himself didn't believe it. But whether it was real or fake, this was his son's sincerity. Even if it was fake, he couldn't show it in front of outsiders. If there was anything, it should be discussed behind closed doors. Now that an outsider like Lin Yi had said it out loud, Dr. Kang felt like he had lost a lot of face. "Kid, why do you say this ginseng is fake?" Although Dr. Kang's voice was a little angry, he still maintained a calm demeanor. "If you're just spouting nonsense, then apologize, and I'll pretend I didn't hear it. But if you don't, then I'm sorry, we don't welcome you here." Dr. Kang's words were reasonable, and no one could find fault with them. Instead, they felt that he was very magnanimous. Lin Yi had embarrassed them like this, and Dr. Kang only wanted Lin Yi to apologize. Lin Yi didn't expect these people to have such a big reaction. Even the old Dr. Kang had jumped out. It seemed that if he didn't say a few words, he would implicate Kang Xiaobo. Lin Yi could only stand up and explain helplessly. Wild ginseng has a long reed head and dense reed bowls. The ginseng body is the same length as the root. It has a human shape and a horizontal body. The horizontal lines on the main root are fine and clear. The color is darker, and the skin is thin and tough. There are many obvious pearl bumps. The cultivated ginseng is called garden ginseng. It has a short reed head and few reed bowls. The ginseng body is cylindrical, and the horizontal lines on the main root are sparse and discontinuous. The skin is thick and brittle, and the pearl bumps are not obvious. As for the authenticity of this ginseng, I think there should be experts in this field. Dr. Kang doesn't know, but there should be someone who knows, right? Lin Yi's words were very hurtful. It was obvious that he was mocking Dr. Kang for not knowing how to differentiate between real and fake ginseng. How could he be called a divine doctor? Dr. Kang's face changed. He didn't expect Lin Yi's words to be so logical. He thought that Lin Yi was just talking nonsense. He stood up and said something to give him a way out. But now, Dr. Kang was in a dilemma. "Nonsense." Kang Ming jumped out again. "Grandpa, don't listen to this guy's nonsense. He was sent here by Kang Xiaobo to cause trouble. Let's put the ginseng away and ignore him." Kang Ming's words obviously made people think that he had a guilty conscience. If the ginseng wasn't fake, he should take it out and let the experts here identify it. Why did he ask them to put it away? Kang Ming did have a guilty conscience. This ginseng was bought with his father, Kang Tsuepu. How could he not know whether it was real or fake? This ginseng was bought from an artificial farm. It only cost a few thousand yuan. How could it be 1,000-year-old ginseng? But Kang Tsuepu and Kang Ming both knew that their father didn't know whether the ginseng was real or fake. Kang Tsuepu's brother, Kang Guifeng, also didn't know. Even if Kang Guifeng guessed that it was fake, he wouldn't lose face in front of others. Besides, Kang Tsuepu only took the dividends in the company and didn't fight for power. This made Kang Guifeng have no resentment towards Kang Tsuepu. The two brothers got along well. Kang Guifeng often cleaned up after Kang Tsuepu's bad things. However, they didn't expect that Lin Yi would appear out of nowhere. "Forget it. Take it away. Whether it's real or fake, it's a gift from Tsuepu." Dr. Kang was not stupid. Since Lin Yi said so, he must be confident. If he took it seriously, he would only humiliate himself. It was better to admit it generously. Anyway, others knew what kind of person his youngest son was. His reputation was already bad. It didn't matter if it was a little bit more. Dr. Kang admitted it so casually. It didn't cause any uproar. Since Dr. Kang said so, people didn't want to distinguish whether it was real or fake. Next was Kang Xiaobo's father. It was a very ordinary gift. It was just a few years old Ganoderma. Kang Tsuepu and Kang Ming had wanted to find fault with it, but it was just a few years old Ganoderma. You couldn't find any fault with a few years old Ganoderma. It wasn't a rare item in the first place. If they wanted to find fault with it, it would be like picking bones in an egg. Kang Tsuepu and Kang Mingming didn't have a choice. They could only vent their anger on Kang Xiaobo later. The sons and grandsons had all given their gifts. Now, it was the grandson's turn. But according to Dr. Kang's patriarchal mindset, only men were allowed to give gifts. Granddaughters couldn't go up. The first to go up was Kang Guifeng's son, Kang Jiaolong. This Kang Jiaolong looked older, around 20 years old. He wore glasses and looked like a gentleman. He held a document in his hand as he walked up steadily. "Grandpa, this is a research topic I researched during my PhD studies. I've already obtained a patent for it. This is a certificate from the school." Kang Jiaolong handed the certificate over respectfully. The MC was about to take it when Dr. Kang waved his hand and walked up himself. His face was flushed, the unhappiness from before gone. "Good, Jiaolong, good job. I'm very happy." With that, Miracle Dr. Kang took the certificate and looked at it with a smile. He patted Jiaolong's shoulder. "Work hard. You're the next generation Miracle Doctor of House Kang." Jiaolong nodded. "Wah wah." The audience applauded. Everyone knew that Miracle Dr. Kang was choosing his successor. "Is your eldest cousin a medical student?" Lin Yi was a little surprised. He didn't expect Dr. Kang's family to have someone who studied medicine. Yes, he graduated from a proper medical school and is currently studying for a PhD in traditional Chinese medicine. Kang Xiaobo introduced. "Actually, he's the only one who really knows medicine." It was a little ironic and funny, but it was the truth. Lin Yi was speechless as well. Why did Miracle Dr. Kang's family seem to be so unorthodox? After that, it was Kang Xiaoming's turn. His gift was even more mysterious. He said it was some kind of ancient prescription. But with his father Kang Tsuepu's example, no one was curious anymore. It was obvious that it was fake. How could ancient prescriptions be so easily obtained? Chapter 376. I step. Even if Dr. Kang didn't know much about medicine, he'd read a lot of books in order not to be a laughingstock. How could such an ordinary prescription for typhoid be called an ancient prescription? What a wastrel. Dr. Kang sighed inwardly. Fortunately, Dr. Kang had his eldest son Kang Guifeng and grandson Jiaolong. At least the Kangs had a continuation, and they wouldn't fall after his death. At least until Xiaolong's generation. As for his great-grandchildren, they'd have their own destinies. Miracle Dr. Kang couldn't care less about what would happen after his death. Dr. Kang placed Kang Mingming's prescription under Xiaolong's certificate and nodded nonchalantly. "All right. Whether or not this prescription works, it's still a token of Xiaoming's sincerity." After Kang Mingming left, it was Kang Xiaobo's turn to present his gift. When the MC called out Kang Xiaobo's name, Kang Xiaobo tensed up. "Boss, can I do it?" "Sure, why not? Just go." Lin Yi patted Kang Xiaobo's shoulder encouragingly. Kang Xiaobo nodded and walked up the stage with the antique box Lin Yi had given him. "Second Grandpa, this is a rare pill called the Pill of Life Extension and Toxin Cleansing. After taking it, a large amount of impurities will be expelled from the body, cleansing the bones and marrow. After the toxins are expelled, the body's physiological functions will return to peak condition, and it'll add at least 5 to 10 years to your lifespan." Kang Xiaobo presented the box with both hands. "Happy birthday, second Grandpa." "Oh." Dr. Kang frowned, displeased. As Dr. Kang, he was at the pinnacle of the medical world, and he'd never heard of something like the Pill of Life Extension and Toxin Cleansing. After eating it, it could even cleanse the marrow and reshape the bones. Could it really achieve the goal of prolonging one's life? Dr. Kang felt that if he accepted this elixir, he would lose face. As a Dr. Kang, did he still need this kind of elixir? Moreover, it sounded like an unreliable elixir. However, before Dr. Kang could speak, Kang Mingming jumped out and grabbed the small box in Kang Xiaobo's hand. Just as he was worrying about not being able to find a reason or excuse to attack Kang Xiaobo, this Kang Xiaobo actually took the initiative to come to him. "Kang Xiaobo, don't try to mystify us. The Pill of Life Extension and Toxin Cleansing? How could this be? Do you think you're a martial arts practitioner who sells strength pills?" Kang Jiaoming glared at him. What kind of person is my grandpa? It's Dr. Kang. What medicine doesn't our family have? But I've never heard of such a thing in this world. There are many things you haven't heard of. Kang Xiaobo said coldly. Mph, what kind of trash is this? Then I'll open it for everyone to see. When Kang Mingming heard that Kang Xiaobo still dared to argue, he was furious. You won't shed a tear until you see your coffin, huh? As he said that, Kang Mingming opened the small box in Kang Xiaobo's hands and took out a black elixir. He laughed loudly. What pill of life extension and toxin cleansing is this? It can even cleanse the marrow and reshape the bones? Have you read too many wuxia novels? Have you gone mad? Second grandpa, I've already given you my birthday gift. Since second cousin doesn't believe me, I can't do anything about it. Kang Xiaobo resisted the urge to turn hostile and spoke in a tone that was neither servile nor overbearing. What? Feeling guilty? When Kang Mingming saw Kang Xiaobo's expression, he thought that he was feeling guilty. Kang Xiaobo, don't think that I don't know why you're here. Aren't you here to stand up for that bitch? She's trash that I've played with, and you're treating her like a treasure. You gave my grandfather a miraculous elixir that we've never heard of before. Aren't you trying to make a fool of our family? I know what you're thinking. You want people to see that our medical family hasn't seen this elixir before. That's what you're thinking, right? But you've miscalculated. My grandfather doesn't care for this trash of yours. As he said that, Kang Mingming threw the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing on the ground and stomped on it. That wasn't enough. He even used the soles of his feet to grind it until it was a pile of sticky powder. All right, you've given your birthday gift. You may leave. Throughout the entire process, Dr. Kang didn't say a word. He just stood there with a dark expression. He had his suspicions. Forget Kang Xiaobo, even his eldest son couldn't get such an elixir. So where did Kang Xiaobo get it from? It had to be fake. He could tolerate Kang Mingming because Kang Mingming was his own grandson. But he couldn't tolerate Kang Xiaobo. He felt that Kang Xiaobo was here to stir up trouble, especially after hearing his grandson Kang Mingming's words. So this cousin of his, Kang Xiaobo, was here to fight for a woman's affections. Nonsense. Dr. Kang snorted coldly. He looked at Kang Xiaobo's father. You've taught your son well. Why aren't you taking him away? Why are you leaving him here to embarrass yourself? Miracle Dr. Kang, on the other hand, didn't care about Kang Xiaoming's arrogant act of stepping on the pill. He didn't blame him, either. Clearly, he was protecting him. Xiaobo's father was quite furious. It wasn't very appropriate for his son to get some elixir as a gift, but Kang Jiaoming was the one who'd been causing trouble from the beginning. How was he supposed to embarrass his son? Xiaobo, were you bewitched by someone? Who gave you the divine expansion elixir? Apologize to your second grandpa now. Kang Fu reprimanded Kang Xiaobo. In order to give him a way out, he pushed the responsibility of the elixir to someone else. He meant that Kang Xiaobo was bewitched by someone else and it had nothing to do with him. Impossible. How could the elixir given by Big Brother be fake? Someone was blind and didn't know what was good. Kang Xiaobo was also furious. He said stubbornly, it's a pity that such a good thing was wasted. Kang Xiaobo trusted Lin Yi unconditionally. If Lin Yi said that it was an elixir, then he would naturally believe it was an elixir. Kang Xiaobo couldn't hold it in anymore. Now that even his father was blaming him, he finally exploded. Xiaobo, the gift is here. Some people call themselves divine doctors, but they're just quacks with bad eyesight. Lin Yi walked over with Tang Yun and Xiaofen and said to Kang Xiaobo, this is our Kang family's matter. Who are you to say anything? Dr. Kang was already furious when Lin Yi exposed the ginseng. He didn't hold back when he saw Lin Yi getting involved in his family's matter. Chapter 377. Being a supporting character Mr. Lin, Liu Tianyi couldn't believe his eyes. Lin Yi was at the banquet, and it seemed like he was on Kang Xiaobo's side. Liu Tianyi made his decision without hesitation. He would stand on Lin Yi's side. He had to explain to Lin Yi that he was only attending Dr. Kang's birthday banquet as a show of respect. Mr. Lin, why are you here? I'm so sorry I didn't see you earlier. Tianyi took a few steps to Lin Yi's side and spoke respectfully, under everyone's shocked gazes. Liu Tianyi didn't even need to think about the choice between Lin Yi and Dr. Kang to maximize the benefits of the Liu family, especially after hearing that Lin Yi had the intention of launching the Miracle Dr. Guan brand with him. Liu Tianyi was even more dismissive of Dr. Kang. What kind of miracle doctor are you? All you have is a golden creation. Lin Yi is the miracle doctor. Haha, I'm here with my classmate. Lin Yi shrugged and smiled. Looks like some people aren't interested in my pills. I should have given them to you if I knew this would happen. Is that so? That's great. Anything else? Liu Tianyi was flattered by Lin Yi's words. He never doubted Lin Yi's pills. He'd even believed Lin Yi when he said he could bring the dead back to life. He'd seen his father's condition firsthand. He'd gone from an old man to a man in his prime. He'd even started a vegetable garden recently. Liu Tianyi was happy to see this change. Of course, the person he was most grateful for was Lin Yi. The 100 million was worth it. Looks like I have to continue befriending Lin Yi in the future. I don't have any at the moment. This was given to me by an expert. Lin Yi shook his head. If I have any, I'll give you one. All right, thank you Mr. Lin, thank you Mr. Lin. Don't worry, I'm not the kind of person who takes things for free. As long as you have this kind of elixir, let alone 100 million, I'll even give you 200 million. Liu Tianyi said repeatedly. Although his father's body was fine, it was good to have an elixir at home. He wasn't young anymore. Maybe he could use it one day. Everyone present, including Dr. Kang, was dumbfounded by Liu Tianyi's word. The pill that was crushed by Kang Mingming was worth 200 million yuan? Is it made of diamond? If these people didn't know Liu Tianyi and knew his identity, they might have thought that it was Kang Xiaobo who hired someone to help him fake the elixir. But who was Liu Tianyi? Did he need to help others fake the elixir? Besides, not to mention Kang Xiaobo, even Dr. Kang couldn't get Liu Tianyi to fake the elixir. Xiao Yi, why didn't you give me one of those elixirs? It's such a shame that it's ruined for no reason. Just when everyone was shocked, something even more shocking happened. Guan Shuamin stood up and walked over with a smile. He patted Lin Yi's shoulder. Dr. Kang's expression changed again. Could it be that the elixir was real? Otherwise, why would Guan Shuamin say that? Although Dr. Kang felt that Guan Shuamin didn't make as much money as him, Guan Shuamin's medical skills were better than his. Grandpa Guan, Mr. Liu, we're leaving. What about you guys? Lin Yi asked with a smile. I still have something to talk to you about. Of course, I'm going back with you. Guan Shuamin knew what Lin Yi meant. He smiled. After the medical company was built, he would have to fight with Dr. Kang for the market. He didn't care about his reputation. There's no point in staying here. Why don't we accompany Mr. Lin? Liu Tianyi expressed his loyalty. He knew how important a miracle doctor was to a family, and it was a miracle doctor who could bring the dying back to life. So Liu Tianyi had already put down his pride. What was the use of having more money and power in his hands? Wouldn't he lose everything if he died? But with a friend like Lin Yi, it was equivalent to having an exemption from death. Liu Tianyi wasn't stupid. Kang Xiaobo's father wanted to stand up and scold his son. What kind of friend did he find to mess around at the banquet? But at this moment, there was only excitement left in his heart. His son's classmate was so capable. House Liu's Liu Tianyi and Guan Shuamin were very friendly to him. This made Dr. Kang's reputation fall to the bottom. Lin Yi turned around and looked at Kang Xiaobo indifferently. If you're a man, hold Xiao Fen's hand and prove it to them. This was a good opportunity for Kang Xiaobo. If he forced him to acknowledge Xiao Fen as his girlfriend, then even if Kang Xiaobo's parents were unwilling, they couldn't do anything about it. Lin Yi had already set a good start for him. Now that everyone was on his side, if Kang Xiaobo held Xiao Fen's hand and announced something to Kang Mingming, he wouldn't receive disdain from the crowd, but shock. Kang Xiaobo nodded and held Xiao Fen's hand. He puffed out his chest and looked at Kang Mingming. second cousin, I'll return the damage you've done to Xiao Fen one day. Who the hell are you? Don't think that just because your friend knows a few people, you're someone too. Kang Mingming might be arrogant and despotic, but he wasn't an idiot. When he saw how Liu Qianni and Guan Shuamin were chasing after the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing, he knew that he was in trouble. That pill might really be the real deal. He didn't know where the brat beside Kang Xiaobo got it from, but no matter what, he still crushed it. Therefore, Kang Mingming was obviously trying to be tough on the outside, afraid that others would blame him, so he shifted his target to Kang Xiaobo. Kang Xiaobo ignored him and turned to look at his second grandfather, saying with disappointment, "Dr. Kang, huh? I'm not worthy of you. Someone else gave you a fake ginseng and a fake prescription, and you happily accepted it. I sincerely gave you a pill of life extension and toxin cleansing, but you treated it like trash. Haha, it's fine if I don't enter this house." After saying that, Kang Xiaobo held Xiao Fen's hand and walked out of the banquet hall. Lin Yi had already laid the groundwork for him. If Kang Xiaobo didn't have the courage to stand up and say these words, then he'd really be a coward. Lin Yi held Tang Yin's hand and followed behind Kang Xiaobo. Today, he appeared as a side character, and the main character was still Kang Xiaobo. Seeing Kang Xiaobo and Lin Yi's silhouettes getting smaller and smaller, Dr. Kang knew that today's banquet was destined to become a farce. Where's the pill? Dr. Kang wasn't in a good mood, so he could only vent his anger on Kang Mingming. The pill. Kang Mingming's heart skipped a beat as he looked at the spot where he'd stepped on the pill. Chapter 378. Meeting a fatty. However, just as Lin Yi was about to walk out of the banquet hall, something unexpected happened again. Lin Yi had just reached the entrance of the banquet hall when Yishuan followed a middle-aged man into the hall in a hurry. The middle-aged man was the owner of Moon on the Sea, President Tian. He and Yishuan were supposed to celebrate Dr. Kang's birthday, and since they were holding a birthday banquet in his territory, he had to be there as the owner to give his blessings. But to his surprise, people were already leaving the banquet hall. Hadn't the banquet just started? The dishes hadn't even been served yet, so why were people leaving already? Just when Mr. Tian was confused, Li Yishuan reminded him in a small voice, "Mr. Tian, this is Mr. Lin Yi." Ah. President Tian froze and looked at Lin Yi carefully. Sure enough, he was the same as the photo in the file. He hadn't noticed before, but after Yishuan's reminder, he immediately greeted him with a kind smile. "Young Master Lin, you're leaving?" "Hee, Uncle Tian, right?" Lin Yi saw him walk over with Yishuan and guessed who he was. "I'm just accompanying a classmate to his second grandpa's birthday banquet. I've already given him the gift, but he didn't like it, so there's no need for us to stay and embarrass ourselves." President Tian frowned. Young Master Lin's gift didn't catch his eye. Wasn't that suicidal? However, he didn't know if Lin Yi was on a mission or not, so he didn't dare say anything. He could only nod. "Do you need me to send someone to escort you?" "No need, we'll leave on our own." Lin Yi waved his hand and smiled. "All right, call me if there's anything. You can also look for Xiao Li." President Tian nodded. The scene at the entrance was witnessed by all the guests, causing them to be even more shocked. President Tian of Moon on the Sea was a celebrity in the upper class of Donghai City, and yet he was so polite to Lin Yi. Who exactly was this Lin Yi? Was he a young master from a rich family? From the looks of it, it should be. Dr. Kang had the worst expression on his face. He had never expected that Kang Xiaobo's classmate would be someone with a high status. If he had known that Lin Yi was a rich second generation, he wouldn't have let Kang Mingming crush the pill. The pill seemed to be real. After walking out of the banquet hall, Kang Xiaobo let out a long sigh and clenched his fists in excitement. "Boss, this is the first time I've felt so proud. Look at my second grandpa and Kang Mingming's faces, they're all twisted. Right now, they were probably regretting to death that the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing had been crushed by Kang Mingming. That idiot is going to be in trouble when he gets home. Hee." Lin Yi patted Kang Xiaobo's shoulder. At the very least, Kang Xiaobo had taken the first step today, making him a man of indomitable spirit. Yeah, it's such a pity. If I'd known that Mr. Lin was the one who provided the pill, I'd have gone up to the stage and snatched it even if I'd been laughed at, Tianyi said regretfully. What a waste of a treasure. Xiaofan was worried that she would be humiliated by Kang Mingming's family. But now, she understood that she could also stand on a high ground and look down on the Kang family. Just now, when Kang Xiaobo said those words in a cold voice, when he said that he wanted Kang Mingming to return the harm he had done to her, Xiaofan was so emotional. As for Kang Mingming, his eyes were flickering, and he didn't even dare to speak. Thank you, Xiaobo. Xiaofan turned to look at Lin Yi. Thank you. Xiaobo's boss. Hey, what's the point of saying all these? Lin Yi waved his hand. We're on the same side. Xiaobo, I'm going to give you a stage to show off. I'm going to let you stand at the same height as Dr. Kang, or even surpass him. Really? Kang Xiaobo was stunned, and his eyes shone with hope. He never doubted Lin Yi's words. This was just to express the surprise in his heart. Boss, thank you. Don't worry, I won't let you down. Just when Kang Xiaobo was extremely excited, a fatty ran out of the banquet hall, panting as he ran. As he ran, he said, little bro, wait for me. Lin Yi looked at the panting fatty and was confused. Who are you calling? I'm calling you, little bro. The fatty ran to Lin Yi and kneeled in front of Lin Yi. Little bro, please, sell me one of that pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. I'm willing to pay any price. 100 million? No, 500 million is fine too. Lin Yi was speechless as he looked at the fatty. Was there something wrong with this guy? Running out to buy a pill from him? Did he really believe it? Little bro, I'm begging you. Seeing that Lin Yi wasn't answering, the fatty suddenly hugged Lin Yi's leg and started sobbing. Sell me one, I'm willing to pay any price. As long as you're willing to sell it to me, you'll be Fatty Lai's savior. I'm begging you, I'm gonna faint. Don't cry first. Lin Yi was a little dumbfounded. He'd wanted to move the fatty away and ignore him, but he didn't expect the guy to start crying like that, not to mention in such a heartbreaking manner. A grown man crying in front of him. Lin Yi really didn't know what to say. Little bro, if you promise me, I'll stop crying. Fatty Lai woke up, snot dripping onto Lin Yi's pants. Lin Yi felt a chill run down his spine. Then cry yourself to death. Lin Yi was speechless. Then if I stop crying, you'll sell it to me? Fatty Lai asked, quickly stopping his crying. Old Lai, what are you doing? If you have something to say, just say it. Look at you making a fool out of yourself. Liu Tianyi spoke up. Evidently, he knew the fatty. Old Liu, don't you feel pain in your back? You're so happy that your dad's cured, but my old man's still lying on the sickbed, sob. Fatty Lai started sobbing again. I told you to tell me the miracle doctor who treated your dad, but you kept it a secret. If I don't fight for it now, I'll lose my chance again. You old fox. Lin Yi understood now. This guy had a sick dad too. He knew Liu Tianyi, and he knew that Liu Tianyi's dad was cured, so he paid attention to it. He might have asked Liu Tianyi before, but Liu Tianyi didn't dare tell anyone about him without his permission, so Fatty Lai still held a grudge against Liu Tianyi. Chapter 379. Grab rubbish bro, I'm not crying anymore. Can you sell me one? Fatty Lai ignored Liu Tianyi and looked at Lin Yi while wiping his tears. Not for sale. Lin Yi shook his head. Why? Sob. Bro, I have money. Whatever that old fox Liu Tianyi can spend, I can too. I can spend even more than him. Fatty Lai cried again. Lin Yi was a little depressed. Why did this fatty love to cry so much? A crybaby? He helplessly explained, I only have this one. I don't have any more now. If that's the case, then when will you have it? Fatty Lai's face turned dejected. Just one. No more. I'm not sure. Lin Yi didn't know Fatty Lai at all, so he wouldn't just give him a random pill. The few elixirs in his hands were meant to be given out when the company opened for business as a gift to boost the company's reputation. Of course, Lin Yi wouldn't waste them. Fatty Lai was a crybaby, and he seemed like a filial son, but there were too many filial crybabies out there. Every single one of them would run up to him with tears and snot all over their faces, asking for pills. Even if he didn't tire himself to death refining pills, he'd still be annoyed to death by them. Therefore, this precedent could not be broken. He would never give it to someone he wasn't familiar with. Ah, I see, sob sob sob. Fatty Lai started bawling again when he heard Lin Yi's words. Dr. Kang, that unfilial bastard. That bastard. What a waste of a heavenly gift. Motherfucker. Lin Yi sympathized with Fatty Lai's situation, but he couldn't just give him a pill out of sympathy, could he? Lin Yi wasn't a charity organization, after all. At that moment, a cleaner walked over with a trash bag, ready to throw it into the trash can of the resort. Fatty Lai's eyes were sharp, and he recognized the cleaner right away. It was the one who cleaned the pill that Kang Jiaoming had crushed in the banquet hall. He jumped up from the ground and ran to the cleaner's side. Don't throw it away, just give me the trash bag. The cleaner was startled and was at a loss of what to do. She looked at the fatty, whose face was still full of tears, in horror. You. What do you want? Fatty Lai didn't want to drag this on any longer, so he didn't bother explaining and grabbed the trash bag from the cleaner's hands. He'd have screamed robbery if it weren't for the trash in the bag. But because the garbage bag was filled with useless trash, the cleaner didn't even fight with Fatty Lai when he saw him snatching it like a madman. He let go and ran away in fright. Who would fight with a madman like him over a trash bag? The cleaner thought that this fatty dressed like a dog, but he was actually a madman. It seemed like he had to stay away from him. Fatty Lai ignored the cleaner. He didn't care what the cleaner thought. Finding the pill that Kang Jiaoming crushed was the most important thing. Lin Yi, Kang Xiaobo, Tang Yun, Fen, and even Liu Tianyi looked at the crazy Fatty Lai in shock. They didn't know what he was trying to do. Old Lai, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Liu Tianyi had a small conflict with Fatty Lai, but their relationship wasn't bad. He quickly reminded Fatty Lai when he saw him acting so shamelessly. If his business rivals saw this and filmed it, wouldn't they laugh at him? But Fatty Lai didn't seem to hear Liu Tianyi's words at all. He opened the trash bag in his hand and took out the things inside and threw them into the trash can. There were lunch boxes, instant noodle buckets, toilet paper with snot on it, chewed bubblegum, disposable chopsticks, and everything. There were even flies and mosquitoes flying out. Liu Tianyi felt disgusted. Was this Fatty Lai crazy? What was he doing? Shut up. I want to find the pill that was crushed by that wastrel. Fatty Lai roared as he searched the trash bag for something. Forget it, let him look for it. It would be his fortune if he could find it. Lin Yi shook his head. Although it was crushed by Kang Mingming, the effect was the same. Liu Tianyi was shocked. He didn't expect Fatty Lai to come up with this idea. He wanted to find the pill that Kang Mingming crushed. Found it. Found it. Fatty Lai pulled out a black ball from the trash bag and held it in his hands excitedly as if he'd found a treasure. Great, I finally found it. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha, congratulations, brother Lai. Liu Tianyi walked over and patted Fatty Lai's shoulder. Get lost. Fatty Lai glared at Liu Tianyi. Don't you dare take my pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. I'm not giving it to you. I'm not taking it. Liu Tianyi knew that he didn't tell Fatty Lai about Lin Yi. Fatty Lai was a little unhappy, but he couldn't blame Liu Tianyi. Without Lin Yi's permission, he wouldn't dare say anything about Lin Yi. Hey, why's this pill so big? I didn't see it this big before. Fatty Lai suddenly ran over with the black ball in his hands. Bro, can you help me take a look? Is this it? Hey, why is there a stench? Is this pill smelly? Is good medicine bitter? Lin Yi glanced at the black ball in Fatty Lai's hands and dodged to the back. Tang Yun wanted to go over to take a look, but Lin Yi pulled her back. What's wrong? Tang Yun was curious why Lin Yi didn't let her go over. It's this pill, but it's stuck together with a ball of dog poop. Lin Yi said to Fatty Lai. Dig out the light-colored thing on the left. That's dog poop, that's why it smells. Ah? Fatty Lai's eyes widened, sweating profusely. Dog poop, however, Fatty Lai gritted his teeth. Even if there was dog poop on it, he had to dig it out. Liu Tianyi couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Dog poop on it. This Fatty Lai sure was unlucky. But Fatty Lai didn't think so. In fact, he felt lucky. So what if it was dog poop? It was already good enough that he could find it. It didn't matter if it was dog poop on it. Fatty Lai carefully dug out the side without dog poop. He didn't dig it out completely, and there was still some dog poop stuck on it. But Fatty Lai didn't dare dig anymore. He couldn't let his dad eat dog poop, could he? Chapter 380. Go get it. Lin Yi thought to himself that Fatty Lai was a rich man. These cigars were obviously expensive, but he threw them away just like that. The cost of one pill wasn't even as much as one of his cigars. Fatty Lai, on the other hand, didn't think so. He treated it like a treasure, and in his eyes, he wouldn't sell it even if he offered it to Lin Yi for 500 million, let alone 100 million. It was a priceless treasure. As the saying goes, 1,000 gold can't buy 10 years of youth. If his father could live for another 10 years after eating this pill, it would be a priceless treasure. However, this pill seemed to be a lot less than before. Would it still be effective? At the thought, Fatty Lai quickly asked, "Bro, this pill is much smaller than before, will it still work?" The pill of life extension and toxin cleansing had been stomped on by Kang Mingming, and quite a bit of it was stuck to the floor. Only a small amount was left after sweeping it up, and the rest was wiped away by the cleaner with a mop. A little. It's hard to say for 5 or 10 years, but it's still possible for him to live for another 1 or 2 years. Lin Yi said, "It depends on your father's condition and how much poison is in his body. My dad has uremia. Can he detoxify it?" Fatty Lai was afraid that Lin Yi would ignore him. Now that he saw Lin Yi asking him a question, he quickly went along with it. If he could get Lin Yi's guidance, he'd be so happy he'd go crazy. Yes, it's a little effective. It won't be a problem to hold out for another year or so, Lin Yi said. Can it be cured? Fatty Lai asked quickly. Maybe after eating 10 or 20, right? I can't say for sure. Lin Yi did not lie to him. How could uremia be so easily treated? Only the combination of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine could cure it. Bro, can you cure my father? I'll follow you for the rest of my life. I'll do anything for you, no matter how much money you spend, I'm willing. Fatty Lai knelt in front of Lin Yi again. This time, not only was his snot all over Lin Yi's pants, but the hand that had grabbed dog poop earlier was also grabbing onto Lin Yi's pants tightly. Let go of me first. Lin Yi thought to himself, I'll throw these pants away when I get home. I can't keep them anymore. Then you'll treat me? Fatty Lai was overjoyed after hearing Lin Yi's words. Get up right now, and get the fuck back home. Give that to your old man to eat first, he won't die so soon. Lin Yi said helplessly. Let me think about it first, then we'll talk about it. Speaking of which, you seem to have some face. A celebrity? Alright, I'll go back immediately. Fatty Lai nodded quickly. I have a bit of a reputation in the business world. Bro, what's up? Nothing much. I'll start a company in a few days, and you can come and support me when it opens. I'll give you a pill of life extension and toxin cleansing too. Lin Yi nodded. Are you free? If not, then forget it. Yes, yes, yes. Fatty Lai said the word yes 3 times in a row, afraid that Lin Yi wouldn't hear him clearly and cross him off the invitation list. He was so excited he almost fainted. I'll be your follower. Don't worry, I might be fat, but I have strength. I'm good at running errands. Then go. Get my number from Mr. Liu. Lin Yi was at his wit's end from Fatty Lai's pestering. He had no choice but to give him a pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. Giving it to someone else to experiment with was no different than giving it to the fatty. All right. Fatty Lai nodded, satisfied, and respectfully sent Lin Yi off to a shabby van. Fatty Lai thought to himself, so Lin Yi likes this kind of car? I'll get a new one tomorrow, just like him. That's the only way to show that I'm a good follower. Dr. Kang's birthday banquet was still going on, and the guests were all smiles, But Dr. Kang couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong with the atmosphere. He looked at Kang Ming standing at the side, and it reminded him of what happened earlier. After the guests finished giving their gifts, Dr. Kang waved at Kang Ming. Kang Ming quickly ran over. He knew that he'd gotten into trouble, and the situation was clear. Lin Yi was a young master, and he didn't know how Kang Xiaobo knew this person, but Lin Yi's identity was definitely not simple. From the attitude of Director Tian, Liu Qianni, and Guan Xuemin towards Lin Yi was definitely not simple. And that so-called pill of life extension and toxin cleansing might be real as well. Perhaps it was some kind of rare treasure from somewhere, but Kang Ming treated it like trash and stomped on it. Grandpa. Kang Ming walked over carefully, his hatred for Kang Xiaobo deepening by another level. Why didn't you say so earlier that you got to know such a powerful boss? You've made a fool out of me. Go look for the cleaner just now and find that so-called pill of life extension and toxin cleansing he swept away. How could Dr. Kang not understand something that even Kang Xiaobo understood? He also felt that if the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing was real, it would be a waste to throw it away. However, he couldn't let outsiders see it and lose face, so he reminded, "Be careful, don't let others see it." Got it, Grandpa. Kang Ming saw that there was still a chance to salvage the situation, so he quickly nodded and followed his grandfather's instructions. Kang Ming quickly walked out of the banquet hall when no one was paying attention. In reality, he was like an insignificant clown, so no one paid any attention to him. As soon as Kang Ming walked out of the banquet hall, he bumped into the cleaner who had just been cleaning. He quickly ran over. "Auntie, can I ask you something? Where did you throw the rubbish you just swept away?" Kang Ming had a favor to ask of the cleaner, so he had to change his attitude. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done this under normal circumstances. "The rubbish bin outside." But before the cleaner could finish her sentence, Kang Ming turned and ran. The cleaner shook her head. She wanted to remind him that there was still a fat man snatching the rubbish from the rubbish bin, but Kang Ming was too anxious and didn't hear the latter part of her sentence. Kang Ming was afraid that the rubbish in the rubbish bin had been taken away, so after hearing the cleaner's words, he quickly ran out. When he reached the entrance of the banquet hall, he saw an open rubbish bag beside the rubbish bin. Kang Ming was shocked. It couldn't have been stolen, right? But then he remembered that near hotels and resorts, there were always people who liked to scavenge through rubbish bins to pick out drinks and bottles that could be sold for money. No one should know what that lousy pill was, right? However, Kang Ming didn't dare to delay. He quickly ran over and picked up the rubbish bag, then rummaged through it. Chapter 381. Finally found it. A wave of stench assaulted Kang Ming's face. Kang Ming nearly puked. What the hell is this thing? Why is it so smelly? Kang Ming had thought that it was the stench of the trash bag in his hand, so he quickly tossed it aside and stood up. But it was still smelly after he stood up. Kang Ming looked around and realized that the stench was coming from the pill in his hand. Why does this pill smell like this? Kang Ming's stomach churned. Wasn't this a little too smelly? Had it been like this before? But Kang Ming thought about it for a long time, and couldn't figure out if the pill had been smelly or not when he'd stepped on it. He'd been too excited at the time, and he'd only been focused on mocking Kang Xiaobo. How could he have had the time to care about whether the pill smelled good or bad? That's probably it. Kang Ming nodded in self-consolation. The color of the dog poop was just too similar to the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. Kang Ming had only taken a look at it in his hand before stepping on it, so he couldn't remember the color. Kang Ming hurriedly and carefully held the dog poop in his hand. After making sure that no one was paying attention, he carefully ran back into the banquet hall. As soon as he entered, he saw his grandfather, Dr. Kang's inquiring gaze. Kang Ming quickly nodded to him, indicating that he'd found the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. Dr. Kang breathed a sigh of relief. If it really was a treasure, then it would have been a waste to throw it away. He had to give Liu Qianni a call tonight to see if there really was such a thing. Liu Qianni wanted to invite Lin Yi to sit in his car, But when he saw that Lin Yi drove his own car, he had to give up. Lin Yi drove Tang Yun, Kang Xiaobo, Xiao Fen, and Guan Shuamin back to Songshan. He sent Tang Yun back to the hospital and Xiao Fen back home before bringing Kang Xiaobo to Guan Shuamin's house for a discussion. Kang Xiaobo originally wanted to accompany Xiao Fen. He was afraid that Xiao Fen would be in a bad mood after seeing Kang Mingming today. But when Xiao Fen heard Lin Yi calling Kang Xiaobo for something important, why would she waste his time? He shook his head at Kang Xiaobo and smiled. Xiaobo, brother Lin Yi is looking for you for something serious. You don't have to accompany me, I'm fine. I'm feeling much better now. Are you really fine? Kang Xiaobo was still worried. After all, he was hurt so deeply by Kang Mingming, how could he be fine just like that? Haha, I'm waiting for you to take revenge for me one day. Xiao Fen smiled. I'll remember what you said today. Alright, wait for me, I'll definitely do it. Kang Xiaobo clenched his fist. Lin Yi smiled. He gave Kang Xiaobo a stage to show off, but he needed Kang Xiaobo to be willing. If Kang Xiaobo was sloppy, even if he became his spokesperson, he would only be a role to supervise others. But if he was filled with fighting spirit, it would be different. As long as he had the intention, he would work hard and succeed sooner or later. As long as he had the confidence and dreams, he would definitely achieve it. Tang Yun, I won't be going up. Grandpa Guan already told me about your father's surgery. I can't do anything about the bone problem, but after he's done with the surgery, I have some medicine that can quickly heal his wound. Lin Yi said to Tang Yun when she was about to get off the car, I'll send it to you on Monday, I didn't bring it with me today. Thank you. Tang Yun nodded and didn't refuse. She didn't know when it started, but she gradually got used to Lin Yi's care for her. After Tang Yun got off the car, Kang Xiaobo couldn't help but ask, Boss, are you talking about the medicine similar to my second grandpa's golden creation medicine? In the market, only Dr. Kang's golden creation medicine could quickly heal a wound. No wonder Kang Xiaobo was surprised. He didn't expect Lin Yi to have this kind of medicine in his hand. Haha, it should be similar. I haven't seen his formula before, so I can't say for sure, but the effect should be similar, Lin Yi nodded. Kang Xiaobo was shocked. At this moment, he finally understood why Lin Yi was so confident in supporting him to break with Kang Mingming and his second grandpa's family. When Lin Yi said that he could let him be on the same level as his second grandpa, Kang Xiaobo didn't really believe it, but for the sake of his face, he said it boldly. At first, Kang Xiaobo was a little nervous, not knowing if his bold words would become a joke, but now, he knew that it wouldn't. If Lin Yi also had a formula similar to golden creation, then he was completely qualified to be on the same level as his second grandpa. Dr. Kang's medical company only made money from golden creation. Boss, you are really amazing. Where did you get the formula? My second grandpa hid the formula so well that even my grandpa didn't know. Kang Xiaobo said and sighed. My grandpa is also stupid. He didn't know where the formula was, and my second grandpa stole it. I made it myself. Lin Yi shrugged. Kang Xiaobo was going to be his spokesperson soon, so it was fine to let him know some core secrets. You made it yourself? Kang Xiaobo was so shocked that his eyes widened. Lin Yi can make such a formula himself. How amazing is that? Alright, it's good that you know. Don't tell anyone. Lin Yi patted Kang Xiaobo's shoulder. I have some personal reasons, and I don't want to stand out. So, this company belongs to you and Grandpa Guan to the outside world. Don't worry, boss. I won't tell anyone. When Kang Xiaobo heard that Lin Yi trusted him as a spokesperson, he was immediately touched. He nodded and said, Xiaofen and I won't tell anyone, this can be said. Lin Yi sweated. Xiaofen's leg, I have to solve it sooner or later, so it's fine to tell her. It's fine as long as a small group of people know. Boss, I just realized that the wisest decision I've ever made in my life was that day when I decided to help you fight on the rooftop. Xiaobo sighed. You wouldn't be taking care of me like this if I hadn't done it on impulse. Kang Xiaobo still had some self-awareness. He knew that he was useless. In Lin Yi's eyes, he couldn't help at all. If there was something that could make Lin Yi look up to him, it was that time, However, what Kang Xiaobo said was really true. It was indeed because Kang Xiaobo could stand out in a hot-headed manner that Lin Yi regarded Kang Xiaobo as a brother. Chapter 382. Go call and ask. With the incident with Kang Xiaobo and Kang Mingming's incident, Dr. Kang's birthday banquet ended hastily at noon. The atmosphere was good, but there was an indescribable sense of oppression. It was the same for both the host and the guests. Dr. Kang didn't give Kang Xiaobo's parents a good look. Kang Xiaobo's parents couldn't do anything about it. While Kang Xiaobo's incident had caused quite a commotion, Kang Xiaobo's parents knew that it wasn't Kang Xiaobo's fault. Kang Xiaobo had given his second grandpa a huge gift, a precious pill. It was done out of kindness, but Kang Mingming didn't appreciate it and crushed the pill without any hesitation. And Dr. Kang didn't stop him after seeing it. That was the problem. Miracle Dr. Kang, from the bottom of his heart, felt a great distance between Zhao and Xiaobo, his own grandson and his cousin. No matter how much Kang Mingming had gone overboard, he was still his grandson. He could tolerate it, but Kang Xiaobo hadn't done anything wrong yet. He only suspected that Kang Xiaobo had brought a fake pill to take advantage of his title as a miracle doctor, and yet he allowed Kang Mingming to do something so disrespectful. Even if Kang Mingming's words were a little overboard, it was understandable. He was a boy, after all, and it was impossible for him to not be impulsive. So, Kang Xiaobo's parents were very understanding. What made them happier was that Kang Xiaobo's good friend seemed to be very powerful. So many big shots knew him and were very friendly to him. That meant that Kang Xiaobo wouldn't be at a disadvantage if he followed him. So, even though Kang Xiaobo's parents were treated coldly and disdainfully by Dr. Kang's family, they still felt a little comforted. Dr. Kang's family didn't like them, either. After the banquet, Kang Xiaobo's parents left without even greeting them. It was clear that Dr. Kang's family was furious about the humiliation earlier. If you ask me, what kind of relatives do you have? It's fine if they don't help us after they become rich, and we don't mind that. But what's the meaning of this? Kang Mu wasn't a member of the Kang family, and was extremely displeased by what happened today. Don't talk to relatives like this. Forget it. If it wasn't for Dad asking me to come, I wouldn't have come. Father Kang smiled bitterly, but your son really made my second uncle lose face today. Chimph, my son? Isn't he your son? Kang Mu couldn't help but be proud when she mentioned her son. You see how loyal my son's friends are. They aren't even relatives yet, but they can speak up for him. They also know many powerful big shot. Look at your cousins. What are they? Right, the girl that my son pulled today, why is she a little lame? And what Kang Mingming said. Kang Fu was a little embarrassed. He didn't want to talk about his family anymore. No matter what, he was the second uncle who was related by blood. He was an elder. At the very least, it was his father who went to punish him. He couldn't say much. I saw it too. Kang Mu was also a little worried. Xiaobo said those words today. Does he really like that girl? It seems that he deliberately stood up for her. I think so too. Kang Fu nodded. What should we do? Not to mention this kid's puppy love, he even found a lame girl. I don't know what this kid is thinking. Yeah, why don't we go home and talk to our son? Don't tell me he was fooled by that girl in the spur of the moment. Kang Mu was even more worried when she heard it. Say what? Kang Fu snorted helplessly. Your son was fooled. I don't think so. Oh. What do you mean? Kang Mu was slightly stunned. Think about it. Kang Xiaobo is impulsive, but is his good friend an impulsive person? I think this incident was most likely planned by him. He came to stand up for the girl named Xiaofan. Kang Fu understood. This person's family background isn't ordinary. You see, Liu Tianyi and Guan Shuimin know him, and the owner of the resort. So, I think he supports Kang Xiaobo to be together with that girl. As for why, I can't say it now. It's just a guess. Now that you put it that way, I think it's true. Kang Mu also came to a sudden realization. No matter what, let's go home and ask Xiaobo, Donghai City, Ocean View Villa District. Inside a luxurious villa, the Kang family was gathered in the living room. Dr. Kang Lightsai sat in the main seat, looking at his children and grandchildren standing carefully in the room with a dark face. Zhao Ming, where's that pill of life extension and toxin cleansing? Dr. Kang looked at Kang Ming Ming and asked. Kang Ming Ming was panicking. He carefully took out the dog poop and presented it to Dr. Kang with both hands. Grandpa, the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing is here. Dr. Kang nodded and used his hand to pick up the dark brown object in Kang Ming Ming's hand. He was about to take a closer look when a stench assaulted his face. Dr. Kang almost vomited. What's that smell? Why is it so smelly? Grandpa, this is the smell of the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. I was choked by it too. Kang Ming Ming explained carefully. It's not a scam, is it? Dr. Kang frowned. I don't think that kid is very reliable. Gui Feng, aren't you on good terms with Liu Qianni? I think Liu Qianni seems to be very close with that kid today. Go ask him about it. Dr. Kang wasn't very happy when he said this. Liu Qianni had come to attend his birthday banquet, but left halfway through. Although he was from House Liu, it was still a huge loss of face for Dr. Kang. As for Guan Shuamin, Dr. Kang didn't dare say anything. Guan Shuamin was already giving him face by coming. He knew very well what kind of miracle doctor he was. He was just a fake miracle doctor, while Guan Shuamin was the real deal. All right, I'll call and ask. Kang Gui Feng nodded, took out his phone, and walked to the side to make the call. No one in the room said a word while Kang Gui Feng was on the phone. They waited quietly for the result. Hello. Brother Qianni. I'm Kang Gui Feng. Kang Gui Feng still wanted to get on Liu Qianni's good side. House Kang's business in Yangjing relied on the Liu's influence. At the end of the day, Dr. Kang only had a divine prescription. He wasn't a real miracle doctor, so there was no need for these big families to curry favor with them. On the other hand, Dr. Kang's family had to curry favor with these big families for the sake of development. In the eyes of ordinary people, these big families were mysterious existences high above the masses. It wasn't easy for them to even buy a bottle of golden creation, but to these big families, they could buy as much as they wanted. They didn't have to worry about not having enough. Chapter 383. See the results. Oh, it's you, Gui Feng bro. I had something urgent to attend to today, so I had to leave at the last minute. I'm very sorry about that, Liu Qianni said, but he didn't have any intention of apologizing at all. Kang Gui Feng was a little displeased, but there was nothing he could do about it. After all, he still had to rely on Liu Qianni for his military medicine orders. Haha, it's fine, it's fine. Kang Gui Feng, however, smiled nonchalantly. Right, Brother Qianni, let me ask you something. Do you know my nephew's classmate today? Oh, you're talking about Mr. Lin? Of course I know him. Liu Qianni laughed. Oh, his family. Kang Gui Feng wanted to talk about Lin Yi's background. Haha, he's amazing, isn't he? I say, Brother Gui Feng, why are you asking this? Liu Qianni asked faintly. It's nothing, I'm just curious about the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing he gave me today. Brother Qianni, you seem to know a bit about it. Kang Gui Feng probed. That? Haha, it's a good thing. Liu Qianni could more or less guess what Lin Yi was trying to say. He wanted Dr. Kang's family to regret it, so he didn't mind revealing something that would make them regret it. But he wouldn't say a word about the real thing. Good thing. Does that mean you know something about it, Brother Qianni? Kang Gui Feng's heart skipped a beat. There was no need for Liu Qianni to lie to him about something like this. Who was Liu Qianni? He was a member of the Lius. Even if he was close to Lin Yi, there was no way he'd help Lin Yi lie, was there? And so, Kang Gui Feng had a vague feeling that the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing really was a good thing. Of course, while Kang Gui Feng didn't think he was wrong, his guess was a bit off. If Lin Yi had asked Liu Qianni to lie for him, Liu Qianni would have nodded without hesitation. Haha, let's not talk about that. I can't talk about that. Liu Tianyi laughed again. Right, brother Gui Feng, I'm going back to send the old man back to Yangjing. Chem. Tianyi, brother, elder Liu, isn't he here to see Miracle Doctor? Why did you go back? Gui Feng paused. Haha, he's feeling better now. I even got him a courtyard house to grow vegetables in, Tianyi said with a smile. It's done. Gui Feng was shocked. Didn't Miracle Dr. Guan say that only long-term acupuncture would work? Hehe, how could I use the old man's body as a joke? If not, I wouldn't dare to send him back. Liu Tianyi smiled and said, well, let's not talk about this first. The old man asked me to accompany him to dance on the dance carpet. Huh? Kang Gui Feng almost thought that there was something wrong with his ears. Dance on the dance mat? Old Liu Zhenhu could still play on a dance mat. Even walking would be a problem, right? However, before Kang Gui Feng could ask, the phone was hung up. Kang Gui Feng sighed and walked back with a gloomy face. How is it? Dr. Kang saw that his son's complexion was a little abnormal, and his heart tightened as he asked hurriedly. I didn't get any answers, but it seems like it's really something good. Kang Gui Feng said in a deep voice, but I got an important piece of news. Liu Tianyi's father, elder Liu, has miraculously recovered and can even play on the dance carpet. What? Dr. Kang's heart almost exploded when he heard his son's words. You're saying that 90-year-old man can play on the dance mat? Really? Dr. Kang had seen Zhenhu's condition before. He was so sick that even walking was difficult, but now he could play on the dance mat. His eyebrows twitched as a bad thought crossed his mind. Could it have something to do with the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing? I'm guessing so. There's an 80% chance that it's related. Why else would that old fox Liu Tianyi bring this up all of a sudden? Kang Gui Feng nodded. That pill of life extension and toxin cleansing might really be something good. I just don't know where Kang Xiaobo's friend got it from. That guy looks like the son of a rich family, so it's not surprising that he could get his hands on some rare items. But this pill of life extension and toxin cleansing, is it really the real deal? Dr. Kang picked up the dog poop in his hand in disbelief. How can it work when it's so smelly? Grandpa, as the saying goes, good medicine tastes bitter. I don't think there's any truth to that. Kang Ming had thought of this before, so he decided to show it off now. He wanted to make up for his mistake, so he tried his best to make himself seem more important. Millimeter, Xiaoming's right. Good medicine tastes bitter. Dr. Kang nodded in agreement. But what you hear from others is just hearsay. You have to verify it yourself to see it for yourself. Grandpa, you mean? Kang Ming asked. How about this? Cut this pill of life extension and toxin cleansing in half, then swallow it. See if it has any effect. Dr. Kang hesitated for a moment before speaking to Kang Ming. Ah, me. Kang Ming thought his grandpa was going to take it himself. He didn't expect it to be him. Why? You don't want to live longer? Dr. Kang glanced at Kang Ming. Dr. Kang didn't dare to take it himself. After all, he was old and couldn't handle the torment. But Kang Ming was fine. It's not that. Kang Jiaoming was a little timid. The pill of life extension and toxin cleansing was supposed to be a good item, but it was just a guess from his family. He didn't dare eat it without a definite conclusion. You're afraid it's poisonous? Miracle Dr. Kang hemphed. Idiot, no matter how stupid Xiaobo is, there's no way he'd send a poisoned pill over. That's murder in front of everyone's eyes. You'd have to spend eternity in jail. Even if this pill isn't the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing, it won't have any side effect. Dad, why don't I try it? Kang Tsuepu hesitated for a moment before stepping forward. Kang Ming was his son. How could he let his son eat something so strange? In the Kang family, Elder Kang was the most important person. Big brother Kang Gui Feng and nephew Kang Jiaolong were the most important. On the other hand, he and his son weren't as important. Something like this could only fall to him. The problem was that only the core members of the Kang family knew about this. They couldn't let outsiders try it. If word got out and the great Dr. Kang's family picked up the crushed pill and ate it, wouldn't they laugh their heads off? Chapter 384. Chapter 384, Unexpected Call. Let me do it. Kang Ming realized that his grandfather's words made sense. He'd been too cautious before, and now that he thought about it, Kang Xiaobo wouldn't send poison over unless he was an idiot. Sending poison was suicide. If something happened to Dr. Kang's family, he'd be the first suspect. And so, Kang Ming decided to try it himself. He couldn't let it spoil him even if he didn't like it. Letting his father eat it would only make his grandfather look down on him. Kang Xiaobo gritted his teeth and voiced his decision. Kang Ming's words surprised Dr. Kang a bit. He didn't think that this cowardly grandson of his would be willing to try the medicine on his own. Thus, he said happily, "Good. Jiaoming, Grandpa didn't think that there would be a day when you'd grow up. Don't worry, once we figure out how to make this pill, I'll give you a share of the profit." Kang Ming was overjoyed. If this pill of life extension and toxin cleansing was a success, the profits wouldn't be any less than the golden creation. It was a great thing for him to be able to own a share of the company. In the third generation of House Kang, even the outstanding Kang Jiaolong didn't have a share. Kang Ming was overjoyed at the thought that he'd be the first. Kang Ming's father, Kang Tsuepu, was surprised by his son's courage and insight as well. He didn't think that his son's decision would bring him such great profits and benefit. Even Jiaolong was looking at his brother with jealousy. In House Kang, Kang Ming had always been a cowardly hedonistic young master, so when he did bad things, everyone was used to it. Today, however, he'd suddenly done something sensible. It was a surprise. And so, in his surprise, Dr. Kang gave Kang Ming this promise. Kang Ming took the dog poop from Dr. Kang's hands and placed it on the table. He cut it open with a sharp knife and picked up half of it, preparing to swallow it. "Ooh, it stinks." Kang Ming put it to his mouth, almost dying from disgust. "Why does it taste the same as dog poop?" "It's like you said, good medicine tastes bitter," Kang Tsuepu advised. He was also very excited. If his son took the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing and had an effect, then he would be able to get a share of the company. As a father, he would also be proud. Kang Ming nodded and clenched his teeth. He pinched his nose and closed his eyes, sending half of the dog poop into his mouth. He quickly drank a few mouthfuls of water to suppress the urge to vomit. After a while, he finally caught his breath and let out a long sigh. "Phew. I finally ate it. All right, Jiaoming, don't go out for the next few days. Stay at home and see the effect." Miracle Dr. Kang nodded, turning to Gui Feng. "Gui Feng, seal up the other half of the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing." If the illumination works, send it to the lab and get the ingredients analyze. "Yes." Kang Gui Feng nodded. Kang Ming felt his stomach churn after eating the dog poop, but he endured the urge to vomit and went back to his room, lying on his bed. It had to be said that Kang Ming was quite lucky. The half of the dog poop he took had some pill of life extension and toxin cleansing left on it. It wasn't completely dog poop. Lin Yi naturally didn't know what happened at the Kangs. If he knew that Kang Ming had picked up the dog poop as the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing, and had even eaten half of it, he'd probably be laughing his head off. In Xuemin's house, Lin Yi told Kang Xiaobo about the medical company. But while Kang Xiaobo was excited, he was also worried. After all, he had no experience in business management. Though he didn't want to give up this great opportunity, Kang Xiaobo wasn't an idiot. He knew the consequences of messing around. "Boss, I don't know anything about business management. You have to let me learn." After the excitement, Kang Xiaobo regained his composure. He was an impulsive person, but after that, he could calmly consider the problem. During the fight on the rooftop and Xiaofen's incident, Kang Xiaobo had displayed his impulsive personality. But after that, he was able to calm down and consider the pros and cons. Kang Xiaobo's words put Lin Yi in a difficult position. Xuemin was a scholar, so he naturally didn't have any experience in business management. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't have any experience in assassination. Now, Kang Xiaobo's words weren't unreasonable. He didn't have any relevant experience either. At that moment, Lin Yi finally understood that some things were too simple. You couldn't start a company just because you had a prescription. However, Lin Yi didn't want him to participate in the operation of the company if he wasn't trustworthy. First of all, Lin Yi was a secret. Lin Yi didn't want to expose himself in front of the public and let everyone know that the prescription came from him. After all, Lin Yi was still in the middle of a mission. It wasn't appropriate for him to be distracted by other things. Little Yi, my idea is to find a trustworthy professional manager. As for me, I mainly want to be a vice president in name or a director of research and development. I just need to cooperate with the publicity, Xuemin suggested. As for the company, we can let Xiaobo and Xinxin be the company's directors. They will only participate in the decision-making and not the operation. That's not a bad idea. The key is to find a trustworthy manager, Lin Yi nodded, but this person is not so easy to find. This is urgent. Xuemin shook his head. I'll ask someone else. Just like that, the matter was temporarily put on hold. Lin Yi drove Kang Xiaobo out of Xuemin's villa. He wanted to send him home directly, but Kang Xiaobo said that he wanted to go to a bookstore to buy some business management book. Although it was a bit of a last-minute effort, Lin Yi was glad that Kang Xiaobo had the intention. He was afraid that Kang Xiaobo wouldn't work hard. As long as he was willing to work hard, everything would be fine. Lin Yi sent Xiaobo to the bookstore, but didn't go up with him. He went straight back to Meng Yao's villa. It had been 2 days since he left, and he wondered if the miss was still mad at him. He'd told Meng Yao that he'd be accompanying Xiaobo to his second grandpa's birthday banquet, and Meng Yao hadn't said anything about it, but who knew if Yu Shu was trying to drive a wedge between them? When he was almost home, Lin Yi's phone rang. He thought it was Kang Xiaobo or Tang Yun, but when he saw the caller ID, he couldn't help but freeze. Chapter 385. Chapter 385. Wang Xinyan's family. Lin Yi paused. Wasn't Wang Xinyan supposed to go to Yangjing to take care of the funeral? Why was she calling him? Was she back already? It couldn't be. How many days had it been? It hadn't even been a week. Lin Yi was a bit confused, but he picked up anyway. Hello, but when he picked up the phone, the call was cut off. What was the meaning of this? Did she call the wrong number? Or was it something else? Lin Yi hesitated for a moment before calling back. It was the first time Xinyan had called him, after all, and he couldn't just ignore it. I'm sorry. The number you have dialed is either powered off or out of service. Please try again later. The robotic voice told Lin Yi that the other party's phone had been turned off. Lin Yi frowned. Could it be that Xinyan was about to call him, and her phone ran out of battery? Lin Yi shook his head and put the phone back in his pocket. There was nothing Lin Yi could do if he couldn't reach her. He was a little worried, but the two were strangers who'd met by chance, and Xinyan was far away in Yangjing. Lin Yi didn't even know where she was. In a luxurious mansion in Yangjing, a man with a fierce look on his face snatched Xinyan's phone from her hands and smashed it on the ground, stomping on it a couple of times. Stupid girl, are you trying to call someone over? I didn't think you'd have a phone on you. Good thing I didn't go too far to keep an eye on you. IDVE ruined everything. Xinyan looked at the phone that had been stomped on and raised her head coldly. I'm your cousin, and this is how you're going to treat me. Cousin. Temph, spit out the Xiao family's assets first. The man hemphed. Grandpa's married you off to someone else in his will. Don't even think about leaving this room before he comes with a betrothal gift. After saying that, the man closed the door with a bang, and then the sound of the door being locked could be heard. Xinyan sighed helplessly. She wouldn't have come back if she'd known that the Xiao family was in such dire straits. Not only were her parents under house arrest, but she herself was engaged to a man she didn't even know because of her grandfather's will. It wasn't until she arrived at the Xiao family that Xinyan realized that the Xiao family wasn't as glamorous as it looked on the outside. The two uncles were fighting over the inheritance, But the Xiao family was already strong on the outside. His grandfather had Alzheimer's disease. In the last few years of his life, he signed a few stupid contracts. Not only did he cause the company to lose a lot of money, but he also owed a lot of debt. Even if he sold the company now, it would be enough to pay off the debt. The two uncles, who were originally fighting over the family property, surprisingly united again after finding out the amount of the family property. Now that he couldn't even pay his debts, how could he snatch the family's property? What property was there to fight over? All that was left were the properties that Elder Xiao had bought when he was still alive, but the number of properties could be counted with one's fingers. There wasn't much point in fighting over it, so they could just split it evenly. In the eyes of ordinary people, these villas and properties were already worth thousands of dollars. They could live a well-off life just by relying on the rent. However, for the two Xiao brothers who were used to living a lavish life, it was unbearable. And so, they turned their attention to their sister, Wang Xinyan's mother, Xiao Qinlin, who had left home for many years. Their reason was simple and shameless. Elder Xiao had given them 50,000 kuai for travel expenses when Qinlin ran away from home to elope with Wang Xinyan's father, Wang Shuban. This 50,000 kuai was said to be Wang Shuban's investment in his company, and now they wanted him to pay it back with interest. Of course, other than Elder Xiao's will, the Xiao brothers also had a promissory note, written by Qinlin all those years ago. Back then, Old Man Xiao had given Xiao Qinlin 50,000 yuan for the sake of his daughter, even though Xiao Qinlin had broken up with her family and eloped with Wang Shuban. No matter what, she was still his daughter, and he couldn't treat her badly. But Qinlin had let her emotions get the better of her. Since she had broken off with the Xiao family, she naturally wouldn't take the Xiao family's money for free. She had written a promissory note to Elder Xiao, saying that she'd pay it back with interest when she became rich. Elder Xiao didn't expect his daughter to pay it back, either. He merely laughed it off and told his eldest son, Xiao Ji, to throw the note away. Xiao Ji, however, was careful and hid the note. After Elder Xiao's death, the note became evidence that the Xiao brothers were trying to blackmail Qinlin. With the note and Elder Xiao's will, there was nothing Qinlin could do, no matter how angry she was. Who told her to write that note all those years ago? Of course, that wasn't the most infuriating thing. The most infuriating thing was that Elder Xiao had found a husband for Xinyan in his will. Wasn't it a little too early for a 12th grader to get engaged? The Xiao brothers were very cocky, saying that if Qinlin didn't hand over the 20% of their company's shares, they'd see it in court. They'd let the public see that Elder Xiao's daughter didn't care about his body after his death, and was even trying to steal her brother's asset. In all honesty, who was the one trying to steal whose assets? Qinlin had decided to break off with her family for love, but she was still a filial person. She wouldn't have been able to put down everything she had on hand to handle Elder Xiao's funeral otherwise. Naturally, Lin Yi didn't know what was going on with the Xiao family, but even if he did know, he wouldn't know how to intervene. Family matters like this were the hardest to solve. Lin Yi returned to the villa to see Meng Yaro and Yushu digging something in the yard, each holding a small shovel. Yushu's face was covered in dirt, and Meng Yao's clothes were a little dusty, but her face wasn't as bad as Yushu's. Lin Yi parked the car in the yard and got out. He looked at the two curiously. Yao, Shu, what are you guys doing? Oh, Shield bro, you're back? We're digging for treasure, come help me and Yao. We're so tired. Yushu waved happily at Lin Yi when he came back. Shu, what did you call him for? Meng Yaro glared at Yushu and lowered her voice. What if he sees us? Don't you feel embarrassed? You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.